arrived.
We here, baby. What's up, man? HotepCon 2022. Second annual. It's up.
Who's going to court? Uncle Hotep. Where's she at? Did you tell her to come to passenger pickup?
It's lit. Kim, it's Hotep Jesus. We'll be back.
Yeah, we were just talking about that today. Got the balloons.
No, we really flew Spirit Airline. Who flies Spirit Airline? On purpose. Who does that? You never catch me.
I've seen it now.
Yo, I ain't never flying right there again. Jump seats. Every seat was a jump
Did I tell you about that?
Every seat was a jump seat. It hurt.
Frontier's like it's just a glorified spirit.
Didn't I just tell y'all they be having them jump seats, yo? That's what they call jump seats.
The entire plane jump seat.
Yes.
Nothing but pussy play. You got nothing but
You?
Everybody from Montreal used to play that. That was a classic.
That was a classic?
Yeah. Pennsylvania?
That was a classic.
Was it?
That shit came out.
N.I.E.
Yeah.
No, because it was the one, something that was on that one.
Super Thug.
Yeah, Super Thug.
Yeah, the one with
It
Big
had
Pun
the
on
one,
it.
yeah, the one with Pun on it. That was a classic.
That was the hardest song in the album.
Orange, yeah, orange.
Orange, where's the orange drink?
Orange drink.
I'm here, it's orange drink. I can't hear you that.
Oh, no. We doing bad out here, people.
The hot, yeah.
We doing
Hot
bad out
spicy or
here.
the hot?
No, that's spicy.
They gonna go on the internet, they gonna say these niggas is some fake
not the hot,
Hoteps.
yeah.
They not following Dr. Sebi diet. This nigga just ordered a chicken sandwich. Keanu just opened a Big Mac.
You know, this nigga just ordered sawdust with salt on it.
Hey yo, Brody, turn mine into another one.
And then
No pickles on my Big Mac.
Pause.
you seen the show Hotep's Been Told You? All right, look it up right now on your phone while I'm waiting for my food. Hotep Jesus right there. So tell all the crew. You just waited on. You guys can use these for Hotep Been Told You, or we could do this high tops like we did.
Oh baby, it's so lit. It's so lit. We got our wonderful Lady Hotep here. Trish. This is such a wonderful guy. Exactly. Shit looking professional. This is Cisco is sponsor.
Nice.
Yeah. He brought the banners over, so I'm gonna. Welcome.
Got two my walls here with me. I'm in heaven right now. Move that table over to the left a little bit.
Okay.
This is
You see him finesse a little white girl out of a fresh cup of coffee and Hotep Jesus. And y'all know him, y'all love him. The Paul Purveyor himself. Uncle Hotep, get your ass out here. Thank you, King. Everybody, clap for the King Hotep.
We go in for real and ain't got no chill. Teach me how to grip. 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 Hotep and build, y'all know the deal. We go in for real and ain't got no chill. Teach me how to grip. 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 Save the date if you not.
What I heard, and what is probably true, it was invented in Tijuana, Mexico, in a restaurant called Caesar. So I always pay homage to the people that invent something in somewhere, and I like to bring some limes in because that's more Mexican than lemons. But so we're gonna mix them both to make some perfect Caesar dressing. Classic ingredient, Worcestershire sauce. My own touch to the classic Caesar, a little Tabasco.
I like to say that it is an absolute blessing to be in the presence of people and have you guys with me tonight. And only a female God can make something like that happen. Let's bless the hands that prepared this food, and let's bless the mouths that will enjoy this food. In Mother God's name, amen. Amen, woman. Amen, woman, right?
Most of you will be replaced by AI, but it doesn't have to be this way. You can become AI resistant, but you will need to outperform the machines. You may not think this is possible, but it is. The infiniteness of human consciousness is more infinite than the power of the machine. You may not know how to tap into this power, but we do, and we will show you how. Join us in this journey to make the machine our servant. Most of you will be replaced by AI, but it doesn't have to be this way. You can become AI resistant, but you will need to outperform the machines. You may not think this is possible, but it is. The infiniteness of human consciousness is more infinite than the power of the machine. You may not know how to tap into this power, but we do, and we will show you how. Join us in this journey to make the machine our servant. replaced by AI. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can become AI resistant, but you will need to outperform the machines. You may not think this is possible, but it is. The infiniteness of human consciousness is more infinite than the power of the machine. You may not know how to tap into this power, but we do, and we will show you how. Join us in this journey to make the machine our servant. Most of you will be replaced by AI, but it doesn't have to be this way. You can become AI resistant, but you will need to outperform the machines. You may not think this is possible, but it is. The infiniteness of human consciousness is more infinite than the power of the machine. You may not know how to tap into this power, but we do, and we will show you how. Join us in this journey to make the machine our servant. Most of you will be replaced by AI, but it doesn't have to be this way. You can become AI resistant, but you will need to outperform the machines. You may not think this is possible, but it is. The infiniteness of human consciousness is more infinite than the power of the machine. You may not know how to tap into this power, but we do, and we will show you how. Join us in this journey to make the machine our servant. Most of you will be replaced by AI, but it doesn't have to be this way. You can become AI resistant, but you will need to outperform the machines. You may not think this is possible, but it is. The infiniteness of human consciousness is more infinite than the power of the machine. You may not know how to tap into this power, but we do, and we will show you how. Join us in this journey to make the machine our servant. Most of you will be replaced by AI, but it doesn't have to be this way. You can become AI resistant, but you will need to outperform the machines. You may not think this is possible, but it is. The infiniteness of human consciousness is more infinite than the power of the machine. You may not know how to tap into this power, but we do, and we will show you how. Join us in this journey to make the machine our servant.
That Hotep Jesus dude.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Hotep Jesus? I love that guy. He's terrific.
What's up, people? We back. It's a Grifty Wednesday. Hotep's been told you tonight, not tomorrow. I'll be in Miami tomorrow, so make sure y'all tune in tonight, 8 p.m. for the show with Uncle Hotep. But probably going to be late. He's got to go to a dance recital for his daughter, so we might be late tonight. So we apologize for any inconvenience that may cause any of you. We are sorry we are not able to service you on time as scheduled, but next week we'll be back to our regularly scheduled program. So the commercial, I want to just tell this, real quick story. The commercial that you saw for Master Focus, obviously preceding that was the Hotep Con behind the scenes. That was day one. We have day 2, day 3 coming. You guys will be able to see that. We'll post that on the Hotep Nation YouTube page. Go subscribe there. But the Master Focus commercial, I had this idea. I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie The Heist. So I had this idea that I would purchase this mask, wear it, and make some content. At the time, I didn't know, what I was going to make the content about. I just knew I loved the mask, and I had this concept, this idea, and I recorded the video. I sent it to Alex. Alex is my partner over at Master Focus. And I think he did an absolutely phenomenal job editing it, because when I gave it to him, it didn't look that good, obviously. And he did a phenomenal job putting that together. So one time for Alex. So you can get 30% off plus 20% off. So that's basically half off if you hit the link in the description box below and get a subscription. That is an exclusive link in the description box below. So you can hit that and get your subscription on Master Focus. This is something I take daily, mostly because when I don't take it, I tend to be a bit aloof, distracted. Memory doesn't function the same. I wouldn't say depressed, but definitely those thoughts come into mind a lot more than when I'm on it. So yeah, this is our in-house brain pill, the red pill. The pill itself is actually red. If it's not red when you get it, let me know and I will get you a new bottle. But you see here the real red pill. So if you guys want to take the red pill, hit that link in the description box below. Shout out to the Syscoin team. Had a wonderful time with them in Austin, Texas 2 weeks ago. Threw a great party. Patrick's party was just, they really pulled off a great job with that party. Rooftop party, phenomenal job. Shout out to the team over there, Jag, Patrick, Alex, Nathan, the whole nine. And yeah, so again, tomorrow I'll be in Miami. So there will not be a Grift Report Thursday and Friday this week. I'm sorry. For my members, I will do my best to get some behind-the-scenes footage of Bitcoin Miami and all the things going on down there. I will do my best on that. I can't make any promises, mostly because I tend to be completely present when I'm out of town, and I forget that, I'm supposed to be getting content. So, I'm going to do my best to get you guys some behind-the-scenes content from my members, depending on what tier you're on. With that being said, it's a Grifty Wednesday. I mean, we got rehashed grifts, all types of grifts. Let's get right to it. First of all, City Bike Karen got nominated for a Grifty. City Bike Karen, that's what y'all calling her now? City Bike Karen, make sure you follow the Grifties on Twitter. City Bike Karen has been nominated for a Grifty. You can go to grifties.com and nominate your favorite grifter. Who's up here right now? So City Bike Karen is up there as one of the newest nominees. Joe Biden is leading the way. Dylan Mulvaney in second place. AOC. Greta Thunberg in fourth place. Amber Heard in fifth. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I know they made the news this morning. Apparently, paparazzi was chasing them or something. I don't know what's going on with that. They're in sixth. Dr. Fauci in seventh. The Obamas eighth. Trump 9 and Zelensky 10. So you guys can go to the website, grifties.com. Make sure you watch last year's Grifties. We had some great presenters. Chrissy Mayer, Olivia Rondeau. Who else is in here? Lila Hart, the quartering presented a Grifty. That was pretty cool. So shout out to the quartering. Who else? Who else is in here? Alex Stein. How could I forget? Alex Stein presented a Grifty, and he won Grifter of the Year. So he presented and he won Grifter of the Year. If you guys haven't seen that, go watch that. Here's a still of Alex Stein at the Grifties last year. So make sure y'all go watch that. That's on the official Hotep Nation channel here on YouTube. So you can't talk about the Grift Report. You can't have a Grift Report and not talk about the Grifties. So once again, congratulations to City Bike Karen for being nominated for a Grifty, and she deserves it. I absolutely believe she deserves it, and I want to see her rise up the ranks of the Grifties. Let's go back in the Grift bag. Once again, if there's something on the timeline on Twitter and you think we should cover it on this show, I want you to hit hashtag GriftBag and tag me so we can talk about it. So, a little bit of a mixed bag of grift today. Many of you know what we're going to talk about because you saw it. So we're going to talk about some rainbow stuff, some Brett Favre stuff, a little bit of Democrats grifting, some Daniel Penny and Neely. You know, that whole debacle with the subway chokeout. But first, I like to talk about relationships. We got to talk about relationships. I'm the author of the Unbreakable Rules of Masculinity, cover done by Rollo Tomasi, and that's available on HotepJesus.com.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
And yes, I am a 3-time author, in case you didn't know, so you can go get a copy of the Unbreakable Rules of Masculinity. Also available on Amazon. So we have to talk about masculinity, and I saw this on my timeline today, and I said this has to go into the grift bag. This guy says, my partner on a trip with a 50-year-old woman having the time of his life, laughing my ass off. And he says here in the caption, my 50-year-old, I got out there. And here they are having, it looks like they're having a great time together. Now, I don't know how old this gentleman is. He's probably in his 30s, I would guess. Judging by his dad bod there. Maybe 40, maybe 20 something. I don't know. I would guess 30 something. And here he is with his 50-year-old woman. Now, from my POV, she looks to be in amazing shape. She's quite attractive. You see where his hand is. He's turned on. He's attracted to her. And gentlemen, I know a lot of people make a case for dating younger women. I like to make the case for dating older women. These are women that are on the market who are less desired. And because they're less desired, they're more cooperative. Much more cooperative because, well, beggars can't be choosy. So it gives you a little bit of leverage. Also, some of them want to be Stella and get their groove back. They're looking for a young man. They want to have, that second life. So it seems to work out for all parties, not to mention their experience. Not to mention this lady's probably got a 401k built up, pension on the way. She's got a good job. So she's probably not dating you for your money. She's got her own. She's 50 years old. She's probably got a nice... She's probably the sugar mama. Fellas, go get you a sugar mama. Ain't nothing wrong with getting you a sugar mama. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I know people gonna say, oh, the man has to protect and provide and all. I get that. But maybe it is your job to provide in the future. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, maybe this lady could be investing in your dream and, she's a 6-figure earner, but she invests in your dream and you become a 7-figure earner, and now she can retire and live off of, the investment she made in you. So this is beautiful. I just want to say, fellas, find you an older woman and shoot your shot. The Future said he's grifting. Lauren Lee said it's going to be a hot shine summer. Get ready. Oh, man. Steph Colonel says, I really date women younger than me. I feel you, man. I feel you. Get you a sugar mama, fellas. It's a sugar mama summer. It's a sugar mama summer. So I ain't mad at it. Let's go back in the grift bag. We got more to talk about. Let's go to Weirdo Land. Let's go to Weirdo Land. Let's pull this clip up. I don't know if you guys saw this. This came across my timeline, and I said, you know what? These are some premier grifters right here, so we got to add them to the Grift Report. Let's hit play.
Just like stuff. Do you do it full time? Yeah. So your revenue comes from sponsors? Yeah, it's like all social media. I don't know if fashion makes like no money unless you're a thin white woman.
You see that face right there? I'm gonna rewind it just in case you missed that.
No, fashion makes like no money unless you're a thin white woman.
Fashion makes no money unless you're a thin white woman. And I want you to look at the thin white woman's reaction.
No money unless you're a thin white woman. So
Nah, y'all need the full body language. Hold on. Y'all need the full body language. Let's play that back.
like no money unless you're a thin white woman. So
she's basically saying, bitch, get in shape. Get your big ass in the gym. Put down the donuts. And get your big ass in the gym. All this body positive stuff is no longer going to fly. At least not in my book. Let's finish.
So she's a thin white woman. So being plus size in the social media industry is
So you're complaining about something that, well, you can control.
definitely been hard. There's visibly fat plus size people, and then there's people with the quintessential perfect curves. Like almost, unfortunately, how plus size are you? Okay.
So you can see right there, you know, she's got a nice size tire around her waist. And, you know, there are different plus sizes, right? So you have your plus size, which has the belly. Then you have your plus size who has a flat tummy. Now, I've seen very attractive, thick women, you know. They have a small waist, but the booty's large, the hips are large, and the breasts are large. And I got to tell you, I like that body type too. You know, it's the stomach that bothers me. You know, if you can be a big girl and not have a stomach, I'll take it down. I would. I'm just saying, you know, if I was, you know, looking for, you know, somebody like that, you know, I would. I absolutely would. But this right here, and I can't do, you know, if you can't see your coochie, I can't date you. If you can't look down and immediately see the hair on your vajayjay, I can't date you. Can't do it. I know some of you brothers out there like, hey, I like them like that. Hey, I ain't here to tell you shouldn't. I'm just telling you what I wouldn't. Let's go back to the tape.
Okay, so I am a plus size supermodel, so everything I do is pretty much lifestyle around that, and it's been my full.
Oh, everything you do is lifestyle around that. So your whole brand is about being fat. Great. We expected that.
Full-time job for about 4 years now.
I would put you first. I'd like to. Yeah, you have so many streams of income. So many streams of income.
So she got a whole bunch of streams of income, they're saying. And now they're going to rearrange them based upon their yearly earnings. Watch this. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that? Did you see that? 125K. This is an industry that's been created, you know, based around fat phobia, based around the elimination of being able to call people obese. 125K. How many of you out there make that much money? I don't. I don't make 125K. Are you serious? You serious? I guess I should just become a fat turd so I can become a plus size male model. Does it even work for men, or is this only a women thing? Do fat guys, are there any fat guys? Is that a market? I'm pretty sure that's not a thing. I'm pretty sure I know there's big and tall. That's been a thing for a while right now, big and tall. But is there an industry that's paying men to be fat influencers? This is what we call female privilege. That you could just become so large and so obese and just stop taking care of yourself and still earn 125K for standing in front of the camera. A man could never do that. He could never do that.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
125K. Look at that. The brother over here getting 275K. That's got to be black privilege. Because he damn sure can't be a fashion influencer. What do he got on? What outfit is that? There's no way he can be a fashion influencer, so I'm going to assume he's some sort of other influencer. Shout out to him for getting the bag. But damn, yo, $250,000? Influencer income? What am I doing wrong? You know what I'm doing wrong? I'm on the conservative side of things. I should have kept my black mouth shut and been a lefty, and I'd be making $250,000 a year. If I just kept my mouth shut and just been some other type of influencer, I could have been a fashion influencer or something like that. It's like amazing. Well, this is the state of America. This is what they call, or what I call, American privilege. You know, the fact that you can have these types of incomes from social media. Absolutely outstanding. Hold on, let me refresh the Rumble. Shout out to my Rumblers rumbling over there. I see y'all watching. If you over here on YouTube or Rumble, hit the like button. Let's jig the algorithm. Let's go back in the Grift bag. What else we got in here? Now we're gonna get to the weird stuff in a second. Let's hop right into Fetterman. Then we'll go back to the weird stuff. And I just need somebody to translate what the hell he said here. I just need somebody to tell me what's going on here.
Is it staggering? Is it a staggering responsibility that that the head of a bank could literally crash our economy? It's astonishing.
First of all, that's just like an incoherent thought. Of course, who else would be able to crash our economy but a bank? You dumbass. Who else? Obviously, it would be a bank, Fetterman.
That's like if you have, I mean, like, and
now he's trying to compare that to something else, and his brain is going to completely shut down because you can't compare that to anything else.
they also realize is that now they have a guaranteed way to be saved by no matter how, you know. So it's you know, isn't it appropriate that this kind of control should be more stricter to prevent this kind of thing from going? Or should we just go on and start bailing and sailing whoever bank, regardless of how their conduct is?
What?
You know, I'll give you an example. The Republicans want to give a work requirement for SNAP. You know, for a hungry family has to have this kind of penalties, or some kinds of working required. Shouldn't you have a working requirement after we sail your bank with billions of your bank? Because they seem to be more preoccupied than SNAP and requirements for works for hungry people, but not about protecting the taxpayers, you know, that will bail no matter whatever does about a bank to crash it. Sure.
Yeah, you see his face right here? Bruh. He like, yo, what the hell is going on? I'm still floored that Republicans couldn't beat this guy. I don't know how you couldn't find a good candidate to beat this guy. Fetterman, are we serious? But this guy here, the fact that he can't put together a sentence better than Biden, the fact that this is our government. This is our government, people. Specifically, this guy's PA government. This is Uncle Hotep's state. This is what Uncle Hotep has to deal with. This is what we have representing us. That's shameful. And now, you know, I assume he was trying to ask a question. The guy couldn't answer the question because, well, it's just too hard to follow. You know, what I assume he said is, you know, there's some unfair regulations for SNAP recipients and no restraint on banks. And really what this comes down to is the government. It's the government that's the problem. It ain't the banks. It ain't the banks. You see, the banks are going to do business how they do business, okay? And the only thing that bails them out is government. And he mentioned that. He said, are you going to keep getting bailed out? Now, sometimes they're not bailed out. Sometimes what happens is depositors will get their money back. The Federal Reserve will type some numbers into a computer and they'll bail out the FDIC. Sometimes debt holders will be reimbursed losses from that bank. But the fact of the matter is the way the system has been set up and the way it's been manipulated, you know, I want to say, well, I did write the book on this, Patriot Report, Unmasking the Conspiracy of Money and War on HotepJesus.com.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I mean, pretty much from the inception of this country, we've had issues with the banking system and corruption within the banking system. But the fact of the matter is, whenever something goes wrong, Washington bails them out. And I don't think Washington should, you know. I spoke about this before where New York City had gone bankrupt at a point, and who bailed them out? Washington, D.C. So, you know, basically all this stuff presents a moral hazard. And as long as these moral hazards exist, you're going to have corruption, exploitation, and blatant, you know, disregard for taxpayers. You're going to have, I would say, predatory banking practices because there's no risk. There's no risk. It's like, hey, you know, we can, you know, do whatever we want. I can't remember the name of the banks, but they had a situation where there were a couple of banks, I believe in maybe Chicago or New York. I can't remember, but they had two separate banks, okay? And one bank ended up becoming, both banks got bailed out, right? So both banks got bailed out. One stayed private and one became public. The one that was private ended up becoming profitable, while the one that was public, run by the government, kept needing a bailout. So what you find is as long as you have that safety net there, you're going to have somebody abusing that power. And that's what Fetterman's talking about here. We need to get Fetterman some master focus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody contact Fetterman. I'll give him a year's supply. We will give Fetterman a year's supply for free if he comes and signs up at Master Focus, does a drop, and says, you know, he's going to start taking this. And maybe, just maybe, that'll help him out. Who knows? You can go get that at the link in the description box below. Dax Hill said, I love jungle cats, cougars. 2, fat supermodel. What is super and about being overweight? Can't run, jump, crouch, no quickness, limited range of motion, knees and feet hurt, overstressed heart. I'm glad you brought that up, Dax, because I completely forgot to mention that. She called herself a plus-size supermodel. I totally forgot to mention that point. You're right. What does it even mean to be a supermodel? What does that mean? We have to look this up. We have to look this up. Like, what does it take? Let me see. Google. Ask me. Supermodel definition. Let's see. Okay, supermodel. A successful fashion model who has reached the status of celebrity. I don't think she fits that description. So, you know, again, this is where, you know, in the left side of things, you can just make up the rules as you go along. You don't exactly have to live in reality. So in her world, she thinks she's a supermodel. Really, she's just a model or a lifelike mannequin or a living mannequin. But yeah, she's not a supermodel. The fact that she called herself a supermodel, yeah. Thank you, Dax, for reminding me. So odd. Anyway, let's go back in the grift bag. Let's go back in the grift bag. We got some reporting to do here. Tragic event has occurred. Nobody's talking about it. Let's go to the clip.
About a developing story, we're just now hearing reports about an American convoy in Nigeria coming under attack. What can you tell us about it?
Don't know a whole lot. I just got informed about that here before coming on out to talk to y'all. It does look like a U.S. convoy vehicles was attacked. What I can tell you is that no U.S. citizens were involved, and therefore there were no U.S. citizens hurt. But we are aware of some casualties, perhaps even some killed, but I don't want to get too far ahead of where we are right now. It just happened, and the State Department's looking into this.
So he has no idea what's going on. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here in the news. So, Fox News says,
Alan 911 coming out the shooter.
Two consulate staffers, two policemen in Nigeria shot, killed in attack on convoy. Nigeria has seen a rash of deadly attacks in recent months in the country's troubled north central region. The group was on a humanitarian mission where they were attacked in Agbaru, local government area of the country's Anambra state, one of the epicenters of a separatist violence in the region, said Ikenga, a police spokesman in Anambra. Ikenga said no U.S. citizen was on the trip. Okay. We confirmed there was an incident May 16th in Anambra state. Mission Nigeria personnel are working with Nigerian security services to investigate. The security of our personnel is always paramount, and we take extensive precautions when organizing trips to the field. We have no further comment at this time. So, haven't seen many people talk about this. You know, I wish the best to all parties involved, but keep your eyes on Nigeria. You know, many people have speculated that with grifting season officially here, you got to get low. Things could get bloody. We could expect a foreign war to pop off and, you know, something else to distract us from the problems of the U.S. So who knows? Maybe things will pop off in Nigeria. Maybe this is a sign of things to come. Not sure. But keep your eyes on that. And if I hear anything else on that, I will report back and let you know what's going on. But quite tragic. Let's go back in the grift bag. Let's go here. Let's go to this tweet. This tweet is setting up another tweet. Let's go here. So, this young lady says, Biden stood on the back of Black excellence as an inaugural campaign event in a hollow gesture for symbolic profit. The Asian community got a hate crime bill while the Black community continues to get empty words to foment media traction with no action. Now here's an individual who's paying attention. Budding Black literacy doctors, New York native in the nation's capital. My ancestors built this country. So this is a POC, I'm assuming a Black woman here, and she's fed up with Biden. I am too, sis. I am absolutely fed up. I'm absolutely fed up with the Democratic Party and all the communism taking over this country. But you're right. You're absolutely right. Everybody else got something from the Biden community, from the Biden administration, including the Asian community, the rainbow community, and other communities. And all we got was, as you said, a hollow gesture for symbolic profit. That's all we got. Now, why did I bring that up? Because I want to show you something. I want to show you something that popped up on my timeline. Let's bring this up. This is from TikTok. And says here, good morning and happy Wednesday to all my Twitter patriots. Hope everyone is having an awesome day. And a sign here. Okay, so we don't need that audio. The sign here, mostly for copyright purposes, says, I want reparations from every moron that voted for Biden. Now notice people are starting to understand how to manipulate the reparations conversation. This is coming very close to where I said people need to come to. We're getting closer with the messaging now. I'm proud of this, right? Now, what did I always say? Dems must pay, right? So once we reach the point of Hotep, this phrase will say, I want reparations from every Democrat. I want reparations from the Democratic Party. You could just stop right there. Let's not put the voters in it, because the voters have been deceived and they have been lied to. We know this because the Durham report came out and exposed the Clinton campaign to tarnish the reputation of Trump, to sway voters. So we know the voters have been lied to by mainstream media and many of the influencers. We know that the algorithm was rigged to give them a skewed view of our society. So I do not want to hold voters accountable because, well, they have blind spots. But what we can do is we can ask for reparations from the Democratic Party. We should ask for reparations for the Democratic Party of all races, not just black people, white folks. We need you in this too. This is a huge class action lawsuit, and Democrats have failed this country. Republicans have too at certain points. We know Reagan has failed us. Nixon has certainly failed us. Bush has failed us. But the Democrats is our primary target, and we're going to start there first. We're asking for reparations from Democratic Party. Like I said, I love this sign. I love that people are finally coming around and understanding how to manipulate the reparations conversation in such a way that it makes sense. Okay. Let's go back in the grift bag. Let's go back in the grift bag. Let's see what we got here. We got some Curtis Scoon. Curtis Scoon got some spicy takes. We got to cover that. Should we talk about? No, let's go. We'll talk about. Let's talk about Brett Favre right now. Let's just pull the Brett Favre right now, and then we'll get into some weird stuff. So Whitlock, Jason Whitlock, friend of the show, had Brett Favre on, and this is what he had to say.
I don't agree with everything Donald Trump does and says. I don't agree with everything Tucker Carlson says. Not everyone agrees with what I say or do. So, you know, I want to make that clear. You know, President Trump tweeted too much. You know, I mean, we all have our pros and cons. And I'm just using that as an example. I mean, but I think our country was in better shape with him.
Talk heavy, Brett. Talk heavy. Now, you know, Brett's a Cornhusker. I don't even know if that's the right term to use, but he's a country boy. You know, them country boys, they're definitely going to lean conservative. They love their guns. They love their America. They love their farms. He's a country boy, so he's definitely going to lean more right than left. So this is not surprising. You know, if somebody asked me, you know, who would you expect Brett Favre to vote for, Trump or Biden? I wouldn't even blink, and I would say Trump. So this shouldn't be a shock to anyone.
And I think the fact that I've spoke up or wouldn't play golf with him, Biden would never offer to. He doesn't play golf, and he wouldn't offer me to come play anyway.
Now, why would Brett Favre say that? Why would Brett Favre say that Biden would never invite him to play golf? All we can do is speculate. All we can do is speculate. Let's go back.
But I've always felt like there's a certain amount of respect that needs to be held for that office. And I think the fact that I think Donald was a non-political president, and I like that about him. Was he perfect? Absolutely not. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I'm flawed just like the rest of them. we're all flawed. But I really felt like he had our country in a better place and really cared about our people in our country, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, you name it. I think if you were an American citizen, he cared about you. First and foremost, I don't know if our current president has the same mentality.
Yo, Brett Favre just said Joe Biden don't care about Americans. Joe Biden don't care about American people. That's basically what he just said. Do I need to run it back for you? Let's run it back just in case you missed that.
I really felt like he had our country in a better place and really cared about our people in our country, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, you name it. I think if you were an American citizen, he cared about you. First and foremost, I don't know if our current president has the same mentality.
Talk heavy, Brett.
Our regime. I'm not knocking anyone. I'm just saying that's the way I felt. I wouldn't even call myself a Republican or a Democrat or independent. I just know what I believe in.
Did you hear that? He said, I wouldn't call myself any of these political parties. I just know what I believe in. That's a good take.
I think the people that are in this country should come first. The care and the focus and the vision should be on bettering the people in this country.
Jason Whitlock putting in good work. Got Brett Favre out here dropping these truth bombs. I don't have any problems with what Brett said. You know, even the part where he said Trump tweets too much. I wouldn't argue with that. You know, I enjoyed Trump's tweets. If somebody said he tweeted too much, I wouldn't argue that. I don't know if I would agree or disagree, but I wouldn't argue it because, you know, maybe he was excessive with the tweets. Maybe he was. I don't know, right? You know, what is excessive? What is enough? But I enjoyed the Trump tweets. But yeah, I can't say I disagree with anything that that Favre said there. And shout out Jason Whitlock and the Blaze for making that clip happen. We appreciate you. We appreciate Brett Favre for being a true patriot and calling it like it is. I mean, it's sad to say that this is bravery today. Obviously Brett Favre his career's over. So there's no sponsors to lose. There's no job to lose. So you can't cancel Brett Favre. You can't cancel, a 10 plus year retired football player. You just can't do it. Right. And, that's why so many people are beholden to either silence or the liberal narrative. It's wholly because they're held hostage. Their wallet, their purse is held hostage. Once your wallet, your purse is no longer held hostage, you can speak freely. You can speak freely. And that's where you start to see people like Brett Favre, and they say things that are, quite common sense, Otherwise you get canceled and nobody wants to deal with that. Let's go back in the grift bag. We got more to cover. We got some spicy takes in here. All right, so Target. Let's take a look at what Target's doing here. Look at this. So apparently, hold on.
Look at how ridiculous this is. Fucking Target. Pride bites. This is such bullshit. LGBTQ designed sandals for your kids to wear. Naked women on t-shirts. Naked women on t-shirts at Target. Oh, and this might be a trans naked man on a t-shirt.
see the hairy beast right there? Target. This is happening in Target. That's what we got going on in our great nation. See the handicapped person there? You know, that's part of the minority group to be exploited by Marxists. We got more. Hold on. Chrissy Mayer went out to go verify. Out here doing the Lord's work. Chrissy Mayer says, thanks to Target, I found the perfect swimsuit for creeping out all the women and children at the pool this summer. Can't wait to tuck my cock into this little number while sipping a Bud Light. Savage, Chrissy. Absolute savage. And here they have a tuck-friendly bathing suit. Extra crotch coverage. $40. Extra large. This is real. This is real. This is a real thing. As you can see, Chrissy Mayer went and verified it. Here's Steph Colonel's tweet. Steph Colonel had to get in on the grift. Let's pull his tweet up here. This is funny.
Yo, dog, what y'all think? Tucked in or out? Out, man. Come on. No doubt. That's what I thought. Yo, dog.
Steph Colonel got jokes, man. He got jokes. What's going on in America? What is going on in America? Hold on. There's more. Yeah, just when you thought it would stop. Let's go here. Hold on. I'm going to pull this up. Just in case you're not scared yet, this should scare you. Watch this. Because I did all that to set this clip up. Let's go to the clip. Watch this.
And Jenna, you said you feel that this is a targeted attack. What do you mean when you say that?
That same school board member is currently going around right now trying to, well, along with, the whole, what DeSantis is doing, trying to get rid of all basically diversity elements out of schools completely. Like, they're trying to strip individuality and diversity to fit one common agenda. And it's ruining everything. It's not what America stands for.
I think let's let our viewers listen to what that parent.
So she says DeSantis is getting rid of all diversity. I just want to know, what about diversity of thought? It's like, if you don't think like me, then it's, my diversity or no diversity, but your diversity doesn't count. But let's finish. And we've talked about this on this channel before. We went through the CRT curriculum. We showed you what that was. It was pure debauchery and lechery and victimhood.
Parent said that complained about you doing this in a recent school board meeting. Here it is.
It is not a teacher's job to impose their beliefs upon a child. Religious, sexual orientation, gender identity, any of the above. But allowing movies such as this assist teachers in opening a door, and please hear me, they assist teachers in opening a door for conversations that have no place in our classrooms.
We had played that for the viewers in the introduction, but I just want to give you a chance to respond.
Yeah, so that's what she's missing, and what these parents are missing is they're not in the school system. That just shows me that she's ignorant and has not come and volunteered at all. Because these conversations, these doors, they're open. These students have one-to-one devices. The amount of things that they're able to pull up that we have to shut down, these conversations, these doors that she's talking about, that's telling me I'm stripping her rights as a parent, those rights are gone when your child's in the public school system. Because
did you hear what she just said? Let me rewind it. See, so just in case you missed it, hold on. Listen to what she says right here.
Telling me I'm stripping her rights as a parent, those rights are gone when your child's in the public school system.
Those rights are gone when your child's in the public school system. Now, she's not talking about, your freedom rights. She's just basically saying that when your child walks through those doors, you can't monitor them. You can't control them. And she's right. She's absolutely right. But who does have access? Who does have rights? Who does have access to your child's mind? She does. And what does she want to tell your child?
Because there are students talking about these things. It's where they get 90% of their socialization for the day. And we can't shut down every conversation every child has.
Thank you for being with us this morning. Keep us posted.
It's just...
So, you know, they want to talk about, now there's tons of things you could talk about that people are exposed to on social media. Children could be exposed to the dangers of communism on social media, the dangers of Marxism, the dangers of the Democratic Party. There's a lot of things. Kids could be exposed to financial literacy. Are we having these conversations behind those doors when we lose our rights to our children, young lady? I'd like to know. Is that happening? I would like to know. It's not happening. We know it's not happening. It's a one-sided thing. And they want to indoctrinate your children with the rainbow. And this is why Hotep Nation, we are a nonprofit, supports homeschooling. We support the homeschooling community. You got to get your kids out these schools. Unless you have one of those schools that is, you know, primarily conservative and, you know, they're doing the right thing, then I would never tell you to take your children out of a school that you're happy with. If you're happy with, you know, the job that your children, that the school is providing for your children and your family, by all means, keep them there. But if this is potentially going to be taught to your children, you got to get them out of there. You got to get them out. And she's right when she says you lose all rights. And that was my problem. That's why I pulled my kids out of school and I started homeschooling, because I said, I don't have access to my child's mind. And she said 90% of their socialization is going to come in this environment. I don't want them, you know, socializing with these kids that are on social media looking at this weirdo stuff. I don't want my children near that. I'm pulling them out and bringing them home so I can teach them, so I can show them the way life is supposed to be lived. Because when you send them off to school, like she said, you lose all rights. And now everybody else is brainwashing your child, and they come home with all these weird thoughts, all these weird habits. They're talking back. They got, you know, they have rude habits, all types of stuff, you know. The conversations that they're having with their friends become weird, and they start thinking that certain things are acceptable and should be tolerated, and it's, you know, not to mention the dangers of, you know, many of the school fights, et cetera, et cetera. And I just look back, my kids couldn't be any more than third grade when Trump first got elected. Maybe they were second or first. And I never forget, Trump won the election. I sent my kids to school the next day, and my boys came home. And I've never seen them like this ever. Ever. I've never seen them both at the same time like this ever. They came walking in the door with their head down, like they had a really bad day, both of them. And I said, what's wrong? And they're like, And I'm like, nah, tell me what happened. And then, you know, my extroverted son says, I don't know, something about Trump. This is my first and second graders. So I sent my kids off to school to learn math, reading, writing, language arts, all these different subjects, science, music, whatever. And the school is upset because they didn't win the election and Trump won. So now my kids have to pay because your teacher got her panties in a bunch. So not only is stuff is affecting our children mentally, it's also affecting our children emotionally. This is why I had to make the steps I had to make in my life, the sacrifices I had to make in my life. I can get up right now and go get a 6-figure job, but I can't do it. I can't do it because I have to send my kid off to one of these institutions. I'm going to have to sit at home and make crumbs. That's just what I'm going to have to do. And try and reinvest and build an empire, something I can pass down on to them. Because the way communism is happening now, you know, there might not be jobs for them. With the way AI is moving right now, there may not be jobs for them. So I still remember that day. And I said, yo, the school really got my kids in a bad mood because of Trump won the election. So what did I have to do? I had to sit them down and I had to explain it to them. You talking about like first, second, third graders. I'm having to explain politics too. Like, listen, Trump's not a bad guy. Your teacher is an emotional libtard. You know, these different things. This is the conversation I have to have with a little kid instead of going over his math homework or whatever. Because, you know, you got these people, these white liberal women, right? City bike Karens. These are the people that are in our schools. I'm trying to be somewhat professional here. These mentally impotent female beings, completely logically inept, are supposed to be teaching our children. Someone incapable of critical thinking is supposed to be responsible of teaching our children critical thinking. How can you teach what you ain't got?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
How can you do it? You can't do it. It's not possible. So all these women think they're doing the right thing, and really all they're doing is ruining the country. Let's go back in the grift bag. We got more to cover. What time is it? 2:52. All right, we're making good time. We're gonna open up phone lines in a little bit. 202-596-5631. 202-596-5631. Charlie Kirk got something for us. Let's see what Master Charlie got for us.
As our expert will testify, this isn't a question of not getting it right. It's simply they are not physically capable of reviewing the signature, both from the standpoint of being able to do an assessment with respect to the procedures, but also with respect to the functionality of the computer. When the images, you have to scroll down to check the record signature. You don't see the scrolling down function. What that log data shows, Your Honor, is that over 274,000 ballots were approved at less than 3 seconds each. That includes one signature verifier who approved 100% of the 26,900 signatures that he verified at less than 3 seconds a signature.
Yeah, it's kind of odd to have 100% rate with that many ballots. You would have some of them would have to be flawed, right? You would think.
Maricopa's log file data shows that 11 of these signature verification workers approved 170,000 signatures at a rate of less than between 0 and 2.99 seconds with a 99.97% approval rating. That's not signature review, Your Honor. Simply flashing a signature on the screen, clicking a button, and moving on is not signature review. As I said, the evidence will show that Maricopa knew exactly what was going on. They could monitor each of their workers and, in fact, told them that they were being monitored.
Maricopa County story continues. Now, I ain't saying it was a fraudulent election, but it sure smelled fishy. I ain't even going to touch that one. I'm going to let that one slide. I'm going to let y'all do what y'all want with that information. Let's go back to the grift bag. Back in the grift bag. Where we going next? Let's go here. Let's get this over with. Got a little bit of NBA grift. Ja Morant. Let's talk about this before we get into Scoon's hot takes. Let's hear the clip.
Again, we can go into the backstory.
Nerd sent me this. I didn't even see this. Nerd sent me this.
Of the incident with the teenager.
Make sure y'all follow Nerd at the Cool Table on Twitter.
Ja's claiming self-defense that the teenager threw the ball in his face. We can go into the incident at the mall when he yelled at his security guard. We can go into the incident with the Indiana Pacers traveling party. As far as we know, all of these things have been investigated and no law has been broken. I'm not condoning the behavior. I'm not saying there.
He's right. No law has been broken. He's right. That's what I was saying.
Should be no punishment. There should be consequences. You are the face of the league. You are representing the NBA. You are a role model to young kids. All of that.
I don't know about there should be consequences, but let them cook.
I don't think half a season is the right answer. And
I agree.
The last point I want to make, because you bring this up, the guns on social media. We talk about consequences. Look, in our country right now, gun culture is pervasive. It's pervasive.
Shout out to gun culture. Y'all know I built the AR-15. I bought a lower. Then I bought the upper. Came with, I had to put the trigger assembly together. The upper came already assembled though. I didn't have to do anything for the upper. The upper just slid right in, 2 pins, and that was in there. But I did have to put the lower together. And let me tell you, it took me 5 hours, mostly because I spent an hour looking for a pin I lost in a carpet. Let me tell you something. If you're going to put together a weapon, I guess in this case, an AR-15, do it with like on a table, and, your ground, your floor should be, a flat surface, not carpet, because those pins are so small, they get lost so easily. I don't know how I found it, because I have a thick carpet where I put my weapon together, and the pin's very, very small. I don't know how I found it, but actually I do know how I found it, and I'll tell you, and you can believe me, whatever you want, but I use my intuition, right? I said, listen, this carpet is, it's one of those fluffy carpets, like throw rugs. And I said, I'm not going to find this with my eye. The only way I'm going to find this is with my hand. I have to feel, but I didn't know where to feel. So I just closed my eyes and let God guide me. And I found the pin. I felt it. I was like, oh, there it is. And I found it rather quickly, because at first I was trying to use my eye, but as soon as I used my intuition, I found it in like 5 minutes. You could do with that information whatever you want. Let's go back.
We've got mass shooting after mass shooting, and nobody's doing a damn thing about it. So I get why we're so sensitive to this right now. But there's no consequence for Greg Abbott telling his constituents that they should go buy more guns, and then we have mass shooting after mass shooting in Texas.
Now, this is where he lost me. He completely lost me on that. I don't know how you draw that parallel. You should have just stuck with what you were saying about Ja not breaking the law. But I agree with Greg Abbott. Everybody should go out there. You should exercise your two-way rights and get yourself a firearm or two. I suggest one pistol and at least a rifle, and one pistol, one rifle, one shotgun, minimum for every household, for all different cases, right? You're going to need something for short range. You're going to need something for long range.
No consequence for an elected Tennessee official to send out a Christmas card holding AR-15s with his young family, and then there's a shooting in his very district. There's no consequences to that. So why are we trying to lay down the hammer on a 23-year-old who didn't break a law? Explain that to me.
Now, outside of the whole Greg Abbott thing, I agree with him. I agree, man. Like, first of all, we spoke about this, me and Uncle Hotep, we spoke about this Monday on our Patreon show, patreon.com/Hotep's Been Told You. His old ass still ain't set up the locals. Get on Uncle Hotep's head, tell him set up the locals so we can go live for y'all on Monday on locals. He still ain't sent me his photo for the HotepCon flyer either. Uncle Hotep's the worst coworker, I gotta be honest with you. He's the worst coworker. I'm surprised he even shows up for Hotep's Been Told You. He'll be here tonight, but y'all need to talk to him, man. He's just, I know he's a family man and he's not a grifter and all that shit, but he's got to give me his photos and he's got to set up the locals. Old niggas, man. These old niggas. So hard to work with. Got to do everything yourself. But Ja Morant waving a gun on social media. I think it's corny. I don't think it's wrong. I just think it's corny, right? Like, I have weapons. You never see me post on social media. You never see me on social media posing with my AR. I took 5 hours to put the thing together. You would think somebody who actually built the weapon, and man, that thing was hard. You got to be banging them pins, man. Anyway, you would think I would be on social media, proud of myself, and posing with the AR, right? No, I put my thing together and now I have my weapon because I didn't buy it for show. It's not a show for me. It's a protect my family thing. In case some shit go down, my family will be protected. I have ammunition, plenty of it. I am ready for whatever comes my way. I've been handling firearms since I was a child because my dad was a military man. I am ready. But it's not a show thing for me. You know, I'm not one of these conservatives that, you know, poses with their firearms on the internet. Not to take anything away, because, you know, I think it's great to proliferate that culture. That's just not me. So when I see other people do it, you know, and it's not their brand, right? Like Cannon, you'll see all his weapons, but that's his brand. His name's Cannon. He's our 2A guy. I would expect Cannon to show off his firearms because that's his brand, right? Is weapons Ja Morant's brand? No, basketball is his brand. So to me, him waving a weapon around, I'm not even going to talk about the dangers of it because, you know, I don't study that. He did have trigger discipline. I don't think it's a responsible thing to do, but it's just corny. You know, it's like, oh, you just now held a pistol? You know, 20-something. I've been handling firearms since I was a child, so it's not new to me. It's not some cool thing to do. I've been exposed to these firearms. I'm like, you know, like every year at HotepCon, everybody goes to the firing range, right? And I usually don't go. I haven't gone the past 3 years. I might go this year. I might not. Depends on how I feel. But I don't go. People go, why don't you go? I'm like, when I was a kid, I had to go. I had to go to the firing range. My dad took me to the firing range one time with his friends. He handed them the 44 Desert Eagle. They can't hit the target. My dad says, Brian, come here. Show them how to use the weapon. I pick up the weapon. I fire one shot, one round. I hit the target. I put it down. Everybody looks at me like, how does this little kid do it? It's not my first time at the rodeo. And this is why I think we need to expose people to these weapons at a younger age in a safe and lawful environment. Some safety classes might need to be taught. Maybe you need a Black Guns Matter class or something. But we need to expose people to these firearms so, you know, later on you don't grow up and think that it's cool to wave your fire around on social media. That's corny. That's just corny to me. It's like, oh, you just now got a chance to play with a weapon? Ooh, you're so cool. It's not what that's for. It's for competition and safety. Now, with that being said, do I think he should be suspended from the NBA? No. For what? What? And if he broke the law, okay, maybe, you know, I don't know what's in his contract. But if he breaks the law, you know, Ben Roethlisberger was out here raping women. He still was chucking that pigskin. Nobody talks about that. And I know that's a whole different league and the players union in the NBA and all this, whatever. I don't know those particulars. I don't get it. But the fact of the matter is, I don't understand what the NBA is saying. The NBA is basically saying they're not pro 2A. That's the stance I'm getting from them. They're basically saying, hey, we don't like firearms. We're riding with the left. This Negro's got his firearm. He's waving it around. We got to suspend him. I think really what it comes down to is the NBA is trying to protect their brand, right? You know, Ja Morant waving his firearm doesn't look good on the NBA. They want to reprimand people. You know, you have to have a certain level of conduct. This is your employer. You know, there's a certain level of conduct, I guess, in the employee handbook that says what you can and cannot do, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't like it. I don't get it. However, if I'm making $200 million a year, I'm not doing ignorant shit on social media. If I'm making $200 million a year, you're going to see me doing philanthropy. You're going to see me building businesses. You're going to see me doing responsible things because I know people are watching. And when people watch, they copy. You want the youth to copy the good things you do, not the ignorant things you do. So go on social media and volunteer in the community. Do something that's good for your public relations. Do something that's good for your image. Do something that's good for your soul, for your community, for your country, for your family. But you're waving the weapon around trying to be a fake rapper on social media, and I think it's stupid. I think the NBA is stupid, and I think Ja Morant's stupid. Everybody in this situation is stupid. And I half agree with JJ Redick here. With that said, let's go back. Let's go back in the Grift bag. Hit the like button. We haven't breached 200 likes yet, and then we'll open up phone lines 202-596-5631. This is the spicy part of today's presentation. Some of y'all gonna get y'all feelings hurt. And hey, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. So let me open them up. There's several tweets here from Curtis Scoon. I had to save the best for last. Where is it? Where's the next one? Right here. Here it goes. So I saw this morning, and I said, this is going into the grift bag. Let's go here. So Curtis Scoon says, Ron DeSantis has called for Americans to support Daniel Penny, charged with killing, or charged with manslaughter of Jordan Neely, just to be right and exact here. And he calls that virtue signaling. No disrespect to Neely or Penny, but this is not a national issue. Penny is neither victim nor hero. With all that's going on in the world, this is what voters care about. Now, it's funny that this is Curtis Scoon's take, because that's exactly what we said on the show about this maybe a few days ago, last week. I can't remember. I mean, we covered Jordan Neely a few times. But the last time I spoke about this is exactly what I said. I said, this is not a national issue. They've blown this thing up out of proportion. It has 3 acts. Everybody's going to grift off of it. And then here we have Ron DeSantis. Like I said before, everybody's going to hop in on the grift. It's an industry now. There's 3 acts. The right and the left have to get a piece of the grift. And he rightly calls it virtue signaling. Because I told you, just like I told you in the last time, I said the right is going to look at this as a talking point to score points. And he says Penny is neither victim nor hero. With all this going on in the world, this is what voters care about. He's right. Like, I don't give a shit about, and I said this, I'm like, yo, this is an isolated incident in New York of some homeless man who has mental illness, who has a whole litany of charges, and he got choked out. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what happens to Daniel Penny, and I don't care what happened to this other guy. This is an isolated incident between 2 New Yorkers, and it's none of my business. It's none of my business. This is Mayor Eric Adams' problem. I don't care about this isolated incident. You know how many times this happens across the nation, and nobody says anything until it's white versus black. If a white man chokes out a white man, nobody says nothing. If a black man chokes out a black man, nobody says nothing. White man chokes out a black man, now all of a sudden it's national news. You know how many people gonna get choked out today? I saw a video earlier of a girl getting choked out by another girl. The boyfriend standing right there, he's skinny as a twig. He crying, oh my God, get her off my girlfriend. He can't get the girl off his girlfriend. Girl got choked out on the side of the street. Did that become national news? No, nobody cares, because it was white on white, it was female on female, and nobody cares. But as soon as the skin colors are contrasting, now all of a sudden this is a national issue. So, you know, DeSantis, he's a pro-grifter. He's like, yo, I got to get my licks off. I see people sending money to Daniel Penny. I got to hop in on the grift. And this is what we said before on this channel. We said people going to hop in on the grift. Let's go to the next tweet. So he says, not to be unsympathetic, but my concern is not so much for Jordan Neely. It's for where we go from here if Penny gets vindicated. If you approve vigilantism, keep in mind the last thing we need is an armed population playing police. Open that can of worms at your own risk. And we had this conversation with a caller on the show, this exact conversation. We said, yo, if you say that's how we should operate, that's a slippery slope. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I just know it's a slippery slope when we start saying we want to operate how things used to be. How when, you know, you took 10 paces, turned around and you dueled, you know, Andrew Jackson style. Is that where we want to take this nation? That's the slippery slope. So when he said this, I'm like, yo, this is the exact conversation I had with a caller. It's like, do we want a situation where people can just choke anybody out anytime they feel like? And it says, if Penny gets vindicated, where do we go from here? Exactly. Where do you go? What happens then? Nothing. Nobody's life changes. Nobody's life changes. If he goes to jail, whose life changes? In fact, you know what? If he does get vindicated, you know what's going to happen? The Democrats are going to campaign on it. If he does not go to jail, if he's not indicted, convicted, the Democrats are going to campaign on it. They would love to see him walk so they can riot and tear up the streets during another election. Let's go to the next tweet. So he says, on the left, blacks provide cover for white degeneracy and deviancy. On the right, blacks provide cover for white bigotry and bias. None of this is done for free. All sellouts. He's right. He's right. You ain't got to like it, but it's the truth. Because on the right, you're going to have certain blacks that are going to go, oh, free Daniel Penny. Send some money to his GoFundMe. And you guys can do whatever you want with your money. I ain't here to tell you what to do. But it's true. On the left, the blacks do cover for white degeneracy and deviancy. You know, we're talking about that weirdo stuff they be doing with the rainbow, behind the rainbow. And on the right, it's bigotry and bias. And let's go to that. He says here, conservatives will raise money for George Zimmerman, Daniel Penny, and others. Arena Preston was a police officer targeted by vicious thugs while in uniform. And you don't give a damn. We all know why. She checks every box but the one you care about most. And that's coming to this story. And I will say, conservatives did highlight this. They did highlight this. When this black police officer, black female police officer, was viciously murdered. I believe in Chicago. They did highlight it. But why did they highlight it? What was the rhetoric around it? I remember what I saw on my timeline. But let's see what the internet's saying. Let's do a quick search and see how people talked about this. So we got this guy here. His name is four young men stole Brandon Del Pozo. 4 young men stole a Kia and spent the night targeting women. They robbed 3 at gunpoint. Officer Arena Preston was the 4th. She fought back. They shot her twice and took her gun. She lay there for 30 minutes and died. They torched the Kia and went to bed. So he's telling the story here. It's another one here telling the story. Blue Lives Matter. Protect the blue. But look at the context, right? He says the mainstream media and BLM would be up in arms if it were a violent criminal that was murdered, but are silent since it's an officer. Now, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Here's another one. 4 people, da-da-da-da-da-da. Where is BLM? Where is AOC? Where is Al Sharpton? Okay. This black gentleman here is doing some reporting. But everything's in juxtaposition to the left. Right? This is how they frame everything. Here's Byron Daniels reporting on this. This is good reporting right here. But Scoon points something out. Let's go back. Let's go back to Scoon tweets. And you'll see what's omitted from all of this. Hold on, let me find it. Scoon was on a tear this morning. Here we go, right here. Memo to conservatives. Chicago police officer Rena Preston, age 24, was shot and killed to a gun battle of rebels outside her home. Unlike Daniel Penny, she had a job upholding the law. How many millions do we have for her family? Where's the fundraiser, you hypocrites? And that's what I'm saying is missing. You guys spoke about Arena. You spoke about it. You highlighted it. Some of you, many of you. But where was the fundraiser? And that's the point Scoon is making. He's like, yeah, you did everything but send some bread to the family. Because it was just a talking point for your politics. You didn't really care You just saw it as a chance to win one little talking point battle with the left. She'll be forgotten and gone. But there's no fundraiser for her. You got one for Daniel Penny, but you didn't create one for her. You didn't send no money to her. So this is the hypocrisy and the bigotry of the right that he's talking about. Let's open up phone lines. 223. Wait. Talking about ammunition now. 202-596-5631. 202-596-5631. Hold on, I'm gonna pop the number in the chat. And then we'll go to super chats. Hold on, let me check on my rumblers. Shout out to my rumblers. I see you, Papa Hotep. What's up, man? Jonah Ryan, Bloodline Joe, Slave Trader Joe. Oh, man. Jabari Judah, Brett is a psychopath thief with no morals or integrity, but he always gets my respect for not clapping at the ESPYs when Bruce and Kate Jenner won Sportswoman of the Year. Shout out to Brett for that.
Call from
Strong Dad.
Strong Dad Protocol on the line.
Hey.
What's up, bro?
I had to put down the sprayer, run out the house real quick to get on this.
Talk to me. What's on your mind, man?
So first of all, that last topic you were on, man, that topic right there is real poignant because they'll whenever we try to highlight this stuff, what do? They acken us to liberals, right? They go right to that. We could be conservative all the way down the line. We could say, oh, I voted for Donald Trump. I have his tattoo on my chest. But what you guys are doing here is wrong. They'll turn around. They'll turn around immediately. Lockstep. This is the issue here. This is the issue.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean they turn around? What part do they have a problem with?
They have a problem with a black person defending a black person. They don't see us defending an officer. They don't see us upholding the law. They see, oh, you defending another nigga. That's what you're doing. You must be BLM. Because it's this brain, I call it brain dead mentality, because people, they everything is, one or the other. It's black or white. There's no nuance in the mind of the conservative. That's something that the left whoops conservatives on, right? They'll take every nuance and make that the issue. And so the conservatives lose because they cannot express those situations. They're not good at nuance. They're only good at saying this or that. You know what I mean? And here's the thing, man. If they want to win, if they want to really win, they need black people on this side. They already got black men. Let's just be honest here. All they got to do, is just stay hard line, try to get us our money, worry about our business, and they'll have black men. Mm-hmm. But we know black women are always, hitting the three-pointers for the Democrats, right?
Yeah.
And the woman is emotional. She's more emotional, right? So doing this, she's immediately going to fall back on her emotions. She's going to vote for, she's going to vote for the right. She's not going to come to the side. We need fairness in order to win. We need fairness in order to survive this election season.
Do you think the problem is racism amongst the right, and how they don't really call things down the middle all the time? Is it racism? Would you call it that? Is it something else?
No. I would call it prejudice.
Prejudice.
I wouldn't call it racism. Why? Because I'm racist. We're all racist. Let's just be honest here. I've always had a different view of racism. My idea, I take the ist on the end of racist and see that as a marker of proficiency, right? You're good at you're expressly intelligent at the knowledge of race. That's what I see racism as. I see prejudice differently, and that's what it is. They have a prejudiced opinion, not of black people, but of these situations. Also, we were talking about it last time. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, she spoke about this. That animus that they feel is real, even if it's not all the way she said. The idea of annihilation, white annihilation, all these things, right? These things to them, they can't put their hand around it, but it's like a visceral, it's like a feeling on the inside when we start talking about, you know, oh, this against this black person was wrong, right? That's the first place they go. But really we're saying this was wrong, period. This is wrong, period.
Yeah.
You know, they want to be Blue Lives Matter, but they don't want to be Blue Lives Matter. They want to be, you know, there's so many situations where all the conservatives have to do is apply a little bit of nuance and they will get more black voters. Black people are already, you know, regretting their decision voting for Biden. You know, all that buck dance and all them Sambo shuffles they were doing, they're regretting that now.
Yeah.
This is the literally if we were standing at the 3-point line, the hoop is now like right in front of us. We are so close to it, it's a layup. And they refuse to do the layup. They don't see the layup. And, you know, it's because they're led by legacy media. It's because they're led by some of these really bad conservative grifters who, because let's just be honest, when people are not tuning into the media, they're tuning into their favorite grifter who gives them all their news.
Yep.
Well, these grifters, they're not doing a good job. Or, I mean, I have a theory, and it may be off the wall, but I personally believe that they're just trying to throw the election. I don't believe they're trying to win. It's so easy to win. It's so easy to win right now. How can they be fumbling this bag if not on purpose? And, you know, I'm one of those people. I have a deep, you know, my tinfoil kufi is always in my back pocket. And what I see is, you know, I won't get the channel taken down, but I see that one world GOV trying to coalesce. And the only way to do that is to push people to one side and then make them regret that decision and then push them to the next. You know, they're using us, man. They're using us.
So explain it. Let's talk about the grift, the Daniel Penny grift, because you've heard me talk about this before. Where I said Daniel Penny was going to become a grift, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Ron DeSantis calls for Americans to support Daniel Penny. Would you agree with Scoon and call that virtue signaling, or?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. If there's one thing the right is good at doing, it's pretending. You know, it's copying the left, but not good. They're really good at. You know what I mean? Like they take whatever the left is doing, they try to emulate the left. And they're emulating all the wrong things. That's why I think this is on purpose, because it's really easy to see, oh, this is going to push black voters away. Let's take a different stance. Let's take a different position. They're not doing that. Black voters are even saying, hey, if you guys want us on your side, you shouldn't take this stance. We're not saying become BLM. We're saying apply the same thing you would apply to any other person you're trying to, you know, if you want to get Daniel Penny, you know what I'm saying, the bag, then you should have got this black woman's family the bag. It's real simple. It's, I mean,
or just any American who's been in a situation where they shouldn't have been incarcerated or charged.
Right. It's, you know, I've always said that the back to blue next to the American flag is a contradictory statement. They're not the same thing. They are diametrically opposed, because what happens, they're not going to send the government. The government's going to send their enforcement arm to take your shit, to take your weapons, to take your freedom. And that's going to be the blue. So you're going to fly the blue flag, and the blue flag is going to show up and say, where's your AR? Let me take that. Let me get a hold of that.
Yeah.
And this is, they're not seeing that. And
so,
you know, go ahead.
So in regards to Daniel Penny, what is the right approach here? Am I correct where I'm just like, I don't give a damn because this is an isolated incident in New York? Should the right weigh in on this, or hands-off approach? I
like the hands-off approach, because this stuff happens. This stuff happens all the time. Yeah. This stuff, you know, they say like the rate, or there's a rise in shootings of this, a rise in this type of violence. I don't personally believe that. What I believe is that there's a rise in the reporting of these things. That's it. These things are happening. You know, I was in the underworld. I was a criminal. I was out there robbing people, you know what I'm saying, doing this and that. It didn't become news until it was me attacking a white student on campus. Then all of a sudden, it was in the paper. Then all of a sudden they had a press conference saying, oh, we have to stop this rate of violence. But if I had never been on the news, it would still been happening. It's still happening. So what's happening now is people, they're paying too much attention. They're not looking at their families enough. They're not paying attention to what's happening in their immediate vicinity. They only care about, why do you care what's happening in the next state? What the hell is going on in your state? You know what I mean? When we were out here marching in these streets, I was telling people, why y'all protesting for George Floyd? Half of y'all don't even know what George Floyd. We got stuff happening right here in this state that could be affected by your vote. Why don't you worry about that? People are dumb. People are dumb. They're easily misled. There's a lot of sheep in this world, and that's what they're banking on. And if the right were smart, then they would use these sheep to their benefit, but they're not. What they're doing is they're herding them into the Democrats' arms. How in the hell can Joe Biden win an election? How is that possible? How is that possible? That's like asking John Fetterman to give a dissertation on the Pythagorean theory or some shit like that. Why? You see what I'm saying?
What's the Pythagorean theorem again? A squared, B squared, A squared plus B squared equals C squared or something like that? I forget.
John Fetterman says, we're electing geriatrics. We're electing people who are, I don't know if people have been paying attention to the Kamala train show, the train wreck that is Kamala Harris. But, these people, they are not truly vetted. They are just, they're not vetted by us. They're vetted by the establishment.
Yeah.
And this is why I personally believe that they're trying to throw this. They have to be trying to throw this.
That's the only explanation I could see.
That's the only explanation, and with them trying to create this coin, with them trying to step into crypto, trying to make a currency that everyone is forced to be under, none of these things work if we're still doing left-right politics the next 25 years or something like that. Then none of that's going to work right. They're going to have to come together in order to make that work, because we all know that everybody is in everybody's pockets. So in order to make it one big pocket, we got to get everybody in one big pool and scare the shit out of them. That's what they're doing to us. They're scaring us. The best thing for the citizen is to ignore these things. Call out your politicians for making these things hype value. We should have never even really heard about, respect to Jordan Neely's family and, God bless his soul. And I hope he transitioned, better than he died. But we should have never even heard about it. We should have never even known about it, because how many people are in, are on the streets dying right now, are killing each other right now. And and like you said, if it's not a black on white, then it's not news. If it you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Salient points, on point as usual. Strong dad protocol, y'all.
Okay.
Hey, Hotep and Bill, bro, thank you for the call, man.
Yeah.
Man. He comes based every single time. Homeboy's on point. Jonah Ryan said, do the tuck bottoms come in white, black, and Asian? Come on, Jonah. Jonah got me laughing. That was a good one, man. That was a good one. You got me with a laugh on that one, man. Oh, man.
Call from
Rudy the Vet.
Rudy the Vet Russo on the line. Rudy, what's up, man? Talk to me, bro.
Hotep Jesus, man. It's a beautiful 82-degree day down here in North Carolina.
Okay.
And I'm about to hit the gym, man.
I love
Going
it.
down protocol, man. I'd love to lift with you one day, but you look, I'm a power lifter, man. I ain't no bodybuilder, man. But what's going on, brother, man? It's I got late to the Grift, man, but it's a great. But listen, man, remember how I told you the story about what happened to me on the bus, the Greyhound bus?
Yeah.
So I feel like this Daniel Perry, like, dude's not a hero. You know what I'm saying? Dude's not a hero.
Who?
But it's
Penny.
Penny, man.
Okay.
He's not a hero for what he did, man. Like, he acted, and he's not a hero for what his actions, man. Like,
yeah.
I understand, man, you talked that day, and mine was a little bit different because the dude actually tried to wreck the bus off the side of the interstate. So I understand. But, like, I never felt like a hero for choking that dude out. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't, man, you know?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for you know, at first when they cuffed me up, man, I ain't gonna lie, man, I got a little teary-eyed, thought I was going away for murder, man. You know what I'm saying? But until the people on the bus went ape shit and told the cops to get me out of, like, that pregnant lady was going crazy. She's like, get him out of the handcuffs, get him out of the handcuffs. So it's like, you know, I felt like maybe I didn't do nothing wrong, but at first I felt like that. But, like, you know, people are always like, well, you know, he was screaming and yelling and acting erratic, but you can't choke someone out for. But I mean, what do those three dudes have to wait to the point where he starts beating the shit out of somebody?
Yeah.
Like, because dude's already hit some old ass people. He's already beat the shit out of two old ass people, man.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, man. It's more of a failure of the system of New York City. It's liberal policies. The Soros DAs, man, that are failing that city, man.
Yeah, well, I'll say this.
And
I'll say this in regards to Penny being a villain or a hero. I think that we're all being played at the moment because we don't have the full footage. So the footage, when it comes out, is either going to paint him. It's not going to be in the middle, I don't think. I think it's either going to be he was wrong or he was right. And it's all going to be contingent upon what was Jordan Neely's actions prior to Daniel Penny putting his hands on him. Now, if Neely hit a woman or a child or another individual, hey, fuck around and find out, rules apply here, okay? Now, if nobody was hurt or threatened at that time, then we're gonna have to say Daniel Penny's no hero.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, Buzz.
Yeah.
Because video could always be manipulated. Now, what if the passengers on the subway car that day were like, yo, this dude was out of freaking control, and their testimony is like, yo, he was out of his freaking mind, man, and like they felt threatened. You feel like it would be justified then?
Well, no.
I felt like this dude was going to attack me, or you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that's gonna have some nuance as to what when I say threaten, I mean he literally says I'm about to do something XYZ. I'm about to hit you, or I'm about to do this, or I'm about to do that. If somebody gets on the train and they don't say like, hey, I have a device on me that could explode, or they say, hey, I'm about to do X, Y, and Z. If they're just loud and belligerent, then I wouldn't classify it as a threat. Now, somebody scary might say they feel threatened. Like I've been in situations before where, I'm black. Me and Sonny Johnson, sometimes when we get passionate about a topic, we raise our voice. I've been in situations in the office where I've been speaking passionately, and the city bike Karen has said, hey, I feel threatened. Brian it makes me feel threatened. So that is subjective based upon whoever's in that vicinity, right? But for me, you got to say, I'm about to do X, Y, and Z to a group or individuals.
I got you.
Or brandish a weapon. Brandish a weapon. If you brandish a weapon, okay, we might have to, you might, fuck around and find out rules apply.
But I just, like I said, this case just hits me a little bit. I mean, it's all the divide and conquer strategy. And like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if after the jury pool is picked, the jury pool's tainted, and they're like, vote him innocent so we can use this in the election. I wouldn't doubt it, man.
Yeah, it could go either way.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, it could
I
go
wouldn't
either way.
doubt it. I mean, at first I thought, oh, this dude's fried in New York City. But when you said what you said, I was like, that ain't above what the Democrats would do. Hey, look, we could turn this into a national story, and we could run on this. You know what I'm saying? The case comes up early 2024. Acquit him. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Because like Showdown Protocol, a lot of sheeple out there, man. A lot of sheeple.
Well, think about this. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right. Oh, no, another I want to piggyback off of what he was saying. There's 25 conservative congressmen and 1 or 2 conservative senators. The rest of it's uniparty crap, dude.
Yeah.
Like Rand Paul, you know what I'm saying? He's about the only probably 85% of what comes out of his mouth is honesty. You know, but they're all politicians. So, and then the Freedom Caucus, man. Otherwise, man, you could watch a congressional hearing and see the difference between a Thomas Massey asking questions to the ATF guy, or, you know, your run-of-the-mill rhino Republican. Like,
right.
Oh, well, we appreciate your service, sir. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And all of the media, the money has tainted all of it. Like, when I was talking about Candace the other day, she was so much realer and raw before the money showered down on her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And that's what I love about this show, is that you've probably gained people behind your honesty, and you probably lost financial help behind this because you got integrity, man.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find in this world. That's why every day I'm glued to it, because this community, the people in the chat, you and Unc, you guys don't pull no punches, man. You know, you could probably grift for so much more money, brother. And I respect the fact that you just keep it real, man.
I can't
and
do
this
it,
chat,
man.
they keep it real.
I can't.
Because listen, man, money's great, man, but you can an honest dude you can build a community off of honesty, man. It might take you a lot longer.
Yeah.
But you can build it. You've been working at it since Starbucks, brother.
I'll take the long route, you know. I'll take the long route before I sell out to take the short route. But think about this, right? So on one hand, you can grift off of this as the left, right? And you say, okay, he's innocent, da da da. But what if he's found guilty? There's also something in play there where they're flexing their power in New York City and basically saying, we're going to make an example out of Daniel Penny and show people that you're not even allowed to defend yourself, depending on this footage and how the case plays out. But they could also make well, absolutely, and they could double down on it with that too.
Dude, the liberal pathogen has infected all of our society, brother.
Yes.
The leftist pathogen is deep, dude. They've been using. Listen, remember that the other day what the conversation was? You know, why don't they kill? They killed JFK, man. They killed King, man. They killed X. They killed RFK and martyred them. Those people's names live forever, and you know, people still to this day have emotional responses to all of those men. You know what I'm saying? Flaws or no flaws to all of those men. You know what I'm saying? Icons.
Right.
They're not going to make icons and whack them anymore, man. You know, when they tried to whack Ronnie, they almost made an icon out of Reagan, but luckily Ronnie fell in line after they shot him. And you know what I'm saying? Bush put his hooks. Like, all right, man, we almost killed you, so you're going to do what the hell we want you to do. But they're not going to do that anymore. They're going to character assassinate the Donald Trump. Love him or hate him, they kicked it for the last 7 years. Mm-hmm. And now they're just banging away with lawfare.
Yeah. And
they're not going to lose. A New York jury just gave some dumb chick $5 million. So I'm going to say some dumb bitch $5 million. Okay, so when you could go and they wouldn't even let Trump's legal team play the conversation she had on CNN that everybody for the jury. And that jury was locked there. They picked a Manhattan jury with Manhattan citizens. They just lock you up in a jurisdiction that they want you in, where they know the jury pool is tainted the same way all of Durham's indictments.
Yep.
Jury.
Yep.
And defund the FBI is awful messaging, like you said. It should be disband the FBI, disband the ATF, disband the Department of Education, disband the CIA. How come everybody in the country, every worker, everybody's getting laid off? When are them government layoffs coming? Oh, they're not, man. They're expanding. They're hiring 87,000 new IRS agents. And you're going to pay for it with your tax dollars, sheeple. Man, disband all of it, man. Wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be there, man. They put the FBI in, and all it did was harass the living shit out of the American people since its inception, man. You know, since its inception, man. What's it there for? What's it there for? Oh, so they could break up the mafia, and every racket the mafia had, the government will just take over with the liquor, with the gambling, with the prostitution, with the drugs, everything the mafia did, the government came in. And I watched Patrick Bet-David the other day had Michael Francis on talking about Biden and Hunter Biden and all. And he's like, dude, they're doing exactly what I did, and I spent 25 years of my life in prisons for. Exactly what a mafia don did. He's like, I had 17 LLCs from Panama, all just to bleed money and have bank accounts. He's like, they're doing exactly what I did. That's the mafia boss saying that Joe Biden's family's doing exactly what he did. But no one's going to pay attention to that, man, because we got to fight each other over our skin colors, man. We got to fight each other over our skin colors, man. We got to fight each other over the dumbest shit while these people just walk all over us, man. The divide and conquer is so strong, brother. It's so strong, man, and I hate it, man. It's just the worst thing for such a great country, man. That's the worst. I mean, the normies fall for that shit, hook, line, and sinker, man. You know, just, oh, I'm gonna hate you because you're black. I'm gonna hate you because you're white. I'm gonna hate you because you're Asian. I'm gonna hate you because you're Mexican. That shit is so dumb, dude. Why don't you hate the people who my brother always says, why do you even pay attention to that shit? I'm like, dude, you don't pay attention to it, but it affects every aspect of your life.
Gotta pay attention.
And he's like, you got to, man. And so many people think that way. Why do you pay attention? There's nothing you can do. Oh, there's plenty you can do about it, but you don't pay attention, so you don't know what the fuck's going on. Right. And then you go into a vote and half the country sees, where's the R? Oh, I'm going to vote for these R's. And the other half the country says, where's the D? And I'm going to vote for these D's. When the R's and D's are really U's for the uniparty. But look, man, I just wanted to get in on a beautiful Grift Wednesday, man. I'm about to go in here and throw some steel around, man.
Yeah.
Try to take out my frustration on weights, man.
All right, enjoy your day, man. I appreciate the call in, bro.
Love you, brother. Hotep and build, man.
Love you, bro. Rudy the Vet Russo on the check-in. Always consistent, always Hotep, always base. Shout out to Rudy. Appreciate you, man. He about to sling some steel paws, just in case. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Jonah Ryan said, the red school system exemplifies public education. If the state could implement everywhere, they would. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Call from
Goldstein.
Hotep Goldstein on the line. What's up, brother? What's on your mind, man?
Man, JJ Redick was hedging the fuck out of his bets today, wasn't he?
Oh, he was hedging. Yes, he was hedging. He was.
Hey,
good point.
And then they went in, you know, they finna get the call anyway about his ass. They finna get the call. He gonna get something as a result, because that last point he made was a little bit too strong. You know, that's the impression he left everybody with. You know, all that old gun control shit he was trying to spit at the beginning, that shit was about as see-through as a Japanese house wall. So, but they went ahead and dusted off Malika Andrews' ass today, their favorite daughter of Sharon. They went ahead and dusted her off, and she had to get her little John Morant blows in too.
Did she?
Yeah, she was talking to Adam Silver. I don't know if that was today or in the past, but she was talking to Adam Silver. He was completely off the topic of John Morant. She had to just throw his ass, wedge him up in there somehow. So she was on brand. And as far as this Daniel Penny shit, man, I mean, damn, like, here we go with the bum on the train and the motherfucking white dude who killed him, right? This is what I know. The right and the left have very specific brands. The left is all about freedom and pushing the boundaries of what is acceptable and progression, and the right is all about conserving traditional values and discipline and all this other shit. If you ever want to know if either side has a person representing them, and you want to know how on the level that person is, or if they're just full of shit, you can always tell by how closely they stick to those brands, because there's too much goddamn nuance and variety within the human. So if you are glued to that brand, whichever one it is, then you're full of shit. You are trying to push an agenda. because ain't nobody that goddamn staunch and adamant about their brand. There's always nuance in any situation, and this Daniel Penny, Jordan Neely situation, Scoon pointed out that nuance.
Yeah.
It's one of them things where I'm starting to feel like that everybody is in cahoots, because not too long ago, Trump and the Clintons were besties. Now, they're at each other's weddings, they're chilling, and all this old bullshit.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to feel like these fools, the whole plan, possibly before George W. Bush, but definitely kicked into high gear with George W. Bush from 2000 on up to today. There ain't been an election that wasn't stolen. His shit was stolen.
Lord have mercy, getting spicy.
His shit was, you know what? I'm not even gonna go into that, bro. But his shit was a little weird with the hanging chads. You know, Obama's, it wasn't necessarily taken in the conventional manner, but it was definitely taken when you trumpeting from the highest goddamn mountain that we got the first black president on the way, y'all.
Yeah.
So,
the virtue
now,
signaling.
Right. So that was kind of swaying people into that camp on some bullshit, right? Because that shouldn't really goddamn matter at the end of the day. The president should be the most qualified person. So if your whole campaign is, I'm a nigga, well then, yeah, you suspect. And then when that didn't work, his second go round, it was, I'm all about the rainbow flag.
Yeah.
And then you get Trump coasting in, and he coast in on some, I'm the outsider here to fix and clean the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, once he got in there, swamp got even fucking dirtier. So he was full of shit. You know, where's Assange? Why ain't Assange free? Why ain't Snowden free? You know what I mean? Why you freeing rappers and shit? You ain't freeing them. So I mean, ain't nobody's handshake matching their smile, bro. Like I said, I'm starting to think they all in cahoots, because what I know is how they operate, how that global mindset operates.
So let me ask you this.
Well, go ahead.
Is Ron DeSantis grifting off of Daniel Penny? Is it virtue signaling? You think so?
Yeah, he grifting off Daniel Penny. He's doing the same exact shit that every other conservative talking head is doing. Because up until he announces he's not no candidate, and I'm not even consider him one. That's where a lot of people are probably making a mistake, is they looking at this dude like a potential candidate. He ain't said he's gonna run a goddamn thing.
Right.
But he has been running his mouth. So he's just like a talking head, just like the rest of them, grifting off this shit. Because if I'm not mistaken, Trump didn't really take a side on this. So now he's positioning himself as the opposition yet again.
Yeah. Is this going to repel black voters? Is this the wrong messaging? Yeah. Because I have another question after that.
I don't think it's going to repel anybody, because everybody is pretty much locked into where they're going to go. If you're a black conservative, you're going conservative no matter what. If you're a black liberal, you're going liberal no matter what. And if you're one of the few free-thinking motherfuckers, you just ain't got enough people to make a difference behind you.
Yeah.
So everything's pretty much set in stone.
Okay.
I don't think losing any votes at this point or gaining any votes is even a possibility for anybody.
Do you think voters should care about this incident, this Daniel Penny, Jordan Neely incident?
No, they shouldn't give a damn about this as it pertains to national politics. Now, if you want to give a damn about it on a human level, great, but you know that doesn't really manifest in the ballot box. Go give a damn about that on the human level by feeding some homeless and shit and you know, getting in it that way.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good take, man. That's a strong take. Anything else before any parting words before I let you go?
Shit, not really, man. Just take care of your animals. Take care of your animals out there. If you're an animal lover, take care of your animals and support your local rescues.
Dope. I like that. That's a strong message, man. I thank you for the call in, bro.
All right, bro. You take it easy.
Hotep and Bill. Hotep Goldstein on check-in. He said, take care of your animals. I like animals, man. I like animals. I never like to see animal cruelty. I'm definitely on that side of the thing. I like dogs and I like a lot of different types. I don't think there's any animal I dislike except for cats. Now, I'm not saying you definitely shouldn't hurt cats. You know, you don't want to be cruel to them, but I'm just not a big fan of cats. Cats, you know, and I'm talking about like your domesticated cats. I ain't talking about lions. I like lions and shit.
Jay Pylon.
Lions and tigers and whatnot. Jay Pylon on the line. What up, bro? Talk to me, man.
What's good? Hotep Jesus.
What's good? What's good, man? Talk to me. What's on your mind?
I was thinking about that John Morant situation.
Okay.
And going back into it, looking at it, I said, you know, let's not forget the NBA league. It's about branding as much as it is about control, right? And I think specifically control over the way that the athletes come across with their thoughts when it's advantageous to the league to do that. When it comes to like agendas attached to stuff, they want to maybe attach it to like the left. So they run with persons like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because he ticks off all the left-leaning talking points. But when you have guys like Kyrie Irving, the league is like, what are we supposed to do with this guy? They get, you know, lambasted, they get chastised. And you had a couple years back ago, they had an NBA Bulls player. I think it was Craig Roberts or something like that? He wore the dashiki. He was the one that wore the dashiki and went to go talk to he was in an all-star game or whatever. They brought him to the White House. He went to go present a letter to George Bush, and then the league all of a sudden kicked him out.
Oh, wow.
So I think that when we look at
it wasn't Mahmoud Raouf.
No. It was
okay.
he was an NBA. Specifically, he was a 3-point shooter.
Okay.
I think his name was Craig something.
Craig Hodges?
Yeah, Craig Hodges. There you go.
Okay.
Craig Hodges, right? So I think when we look at the league, I can't see them doing anything like this, like the energy that they have for it, right? I can't see them doing it to someone like Luka or Steve Kerr or or Dirk Nowitzki. If let's say one of those guys came outside and said, I just got out the gun range, here's me in a picture of me, you know, with my pistol or whatever. Would the league go to extremes and say, oh, they need to be, you know, if they were active players? So let's say like for Luka, would the league say, oh, he can't do that? There's been too many, or would they sit there and say, oh, that's okay, that's fine?
So you're saying it goes back to the behavior. You're saying if the behavior was different, if he left the range as opposed to dancing with it in the car, would it be different?
Yeah, and I think there's a control mechanism. I think that the league is specifically about controlling the thoughts and behaviors of these individuals that they sign on these contracts. And you saw with Brett Favre, you know, when you get away from it, when you're not under that controlling aspect, then you're more free to start speaking your mind. And the same thing we saw with Kwame. But while you're in the league, you're under the rule and dictatorship of whatever they want you to be doing. And so that's why they always call up people like Kareem or Magic or someone else along those lines for the influence.
Yep. Nailed it. Nailed it. Bars. Just in case y'all not familiar with the caller today, the caller has a show with Canon Hotep. Make sure y'all subscribe to Canon Hotep on YouTube and Rumble. Just Jay Pylon and checking. Hey, great call today, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you. Hey, appreciate you. Appreciate the chat. And Natasha, shout out. She got the link on there too for me. Appreciate you.
You coming to HotepCon?
I'll try. I'm definitely trying. I'm trying to get my leg right. My leg has been out for a minute.
Damn.
So I've been having to go to the doctors here are terrible in Oklahoma. It's in my little area. So I've been working on my leg, trying to walk and trying to get my leg back because it's been out for a minute.
Okay.
And I like to work out and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to hit the gym today and keep pushing, and then hopefully, hopefully I'll be able to come through.
All right, let me know. Coupon code Hotep Jesus, man. We take care of you.
I got you.
All right, bro.
Oh,
Talk
no
to you
problem.
soon.
Appreciate
Hotep
y'all.
and Bill.
All right, God bless. Hotep and Bill.
Call from
DD Hotep.
DD Hotep, you on the line? What up, bro?
What's up, man? Hey, I was just calling. I know earlier you were talking about schools and how bad and how toxic some schools can be to kids, you know, with that being the only place they get their socialization most of the time.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if you talked about this. It was maybe about a week or so ago. There was a story that came out about a 6-year-old girl in Texas that was like a couple of her classmates like forced her to do like sex acts while they filmed it on an iPad in class. Bro, like I don't, you know.
That's what the nation
people
needs to
wanna
be.
say
That's
about
what the
school.
nation needs to be in an uproar about.
Yeah, but like nobody's talking about it. Like I was sitting there, I was trying to figure it out because I saw somebody do a video on it 3-4 days ago, and I was like, oh, like you know, whatever, you know, like oh, that's terrible, you know, that I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure enough, it was like, and then you know, the guy that made that video kind of got off on talking about, like, oh, that's you know, kind of went off on the trail of like this is why porn shouldn't be introduced to kids before you know a certain age and stuff like that, because he was like the reason, you know, he's like they're doing that kind of stuff because they see it on the internet because nobody's paying attention to them.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're doing it like that, and they're doing, you know, they're filming it on an iPad because that's the way that they've, you know, learned how to do it. And I was like, you know, and it was a school iPad too.
Mm.
And I was just like sitting there, I'm like, man, I'm like, I wouldn't want my kids going to a public school if something like that happened within like 50 miles of there.
Facts.
I'd be like, I don't want my kid anywhere around that whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's terrible.
But it's just, I mean, it's horrible because it's like, that's, you know, of course that happened about the same time the whole, you know, Jordan Neely thing happened. And so it's like, well, which one are you going to pick? You're going to pick the 6-year-old getting sexually abused by her classmates or something that you can grift off of.
Right.
You know, it's gross. Like people are like, you know, people are so quick to want to grift off of things that they'll put away humanity. I mean, talking about a 6-year-old, like if it's up to me, if I'm protecting a 6-year-old or I'm protecting a 25-year-old dude that was, you know, performing on the subway, I'm choosing to protect that 6-year-old every time, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
And this is, I mean, man, it's crazy, you know?
You know, that's what we talked
sad.
about. We spoke about that earlier. You know, there's a whole bunch of incidents that happen across the nation, but, you know, this is the one that everybody's got to weigh in on.
Yeah, and it's just crazy, too, because you don't hear about it. You know, like, I live in Texas, and I didn't even hear about it until, you know, I saw that video and somebody else, like, was talking about how messed up it was. I'm like, man, you know, it's crazy that got no attention, you know?
Yep. I didn't even know about this story until you told me about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's awful. And the teachers in the classroom and everything like that, and then they had to contact the parents and all that, and the kids are like, what the hell you mean that happened to my kid?
Man, I don't even want to think about what was my kid, boy.
Yeah, well, that's what we need. That
I'm gonna be on the news.
You know?
I'll be on the news, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need that.
We're gonna have to put a GoFundMe up for my ass.
You know, it's like everybody wants to talk about toxic masculinity, and then you know, I'm gonna make the assumption that these, like, both of those boys didn't have any father figure around.
Yeah.
Like if I had to take a shot in the dark, I'm just gonna
not a good one at least.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, you know, that's always what it comes back to is they destroy the nuclear family, and then they can go after the kids because they ain't got nobody there to protect them. You know.
Right.
Because, I mean, then you see it with abortion, and they're like, oh, well, they're not worth anything until they come out of the womb or whatever. You know, like the whole interaction like Tim Pool had with that guy last week, which I thought was hilarious.
Wait, what? What interaction? Tim Pool and who?
The interaction with I can't remember what the guy's name is.
What were they talking
He
about?
has some YouTube channel. They were talking about abortion, and the guy was like, I think women should be able to abort their babies up to 9 months or whatever.
Oh, that guy.
And,
Yeah, we covered that.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm pretty sure y'all covered it, but I was like, I don't remember. But But yeah, I was just like, it's like they do that, and then they're gonna sit there and they're gonna be like, oh well, kids don't really matter until they can consent for themselves, and then you get all these kids that just get kind of thrown under the lawnmowers that's going by, and it's just like, well, hold on, that's not good.
Right.
But nobody wants to say anything about it. Nobody cares because everybody's so caught up in what is put out there that a story like that gets completely swept under the rug.
Yep. Every single time.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Every single time.
It's horrible, man.
Yeah, man.
But
hey, y'all,
that's
appreciate the
culture,
call, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hotep and Bill.
All right, Hotep and Bill, bro. I like that caller. He should call in more often, man. I like that caller. That's a good call. Some good takes right there. I didn't even know about that story that he spoke about. That's absolutely insane that this is what's going on in a school. Yeah, that interview was insane, JV Chanel. Shout out to Adeptus Santos, another new member on the channel. I appreciate you. Hold on, I wanted to bring up, we had some breaking news here. Let me pull that up on the screen. Hold on a second.
Call from
AK Kamara.
AK Kamara, what up, bro? Talk to me, man.
Hey, what up, Hotep? Hey, I just got 3 quick points. When it comes to John Morant, do you remember back in like the 90s, Patrick Ewing did a bunch of NRA commercials? If you haven't seen them, you gotta Google it, bro. It's super weird, but it used to be like that, and I wish that John Morant wouldn't do like the I'm a gangster angle. I wish he would be like, guns are cool. If you use them to defend yourself, if you use them to hone your skills. But yeah, the way he's been using it is some knucklehead stuff, man.
Yeah, I don't agree with it at all, man. I don't think he should be, waving a pistol around like it's some sort of toy, right? Like it's not a toy. And yeah, I totally agree, bro.
But yeah, you got to check out that Patrick Ewing commercial. It's weird because you would think you would hear more about it when it happened, but that was way back in the day, man. I was a little kid because I exercise my Second Amendment right every day as I'm driving around doing these deliveries. I stay strapped, and I would never ever in a million years when my buddy's filming me pull out my pistol and like start pointing in the air. Like that's some stupid stuff. That's how people die, man. I seen like a Vine video years ago where that literally happened. An old boy bucked, and right there, like while his friend is filming, it's crazy stuff. The second thing, I wanted to kind of throw something to you when it comes to this Daniel Penny thing, right?
Okay.
So I think that in general, most conservatives didn't care about it. Like some did, until it started to get a lot of money.
Yeah.
And now I think that conservatives are using it as like a rallying cry against like progressive DAs. So I think that there can be good that comes out of it, but I agree that like the things that conservatives pick and choose, and I'm a conservative, like straight up, I'm like an actual Republican delegate, right? Like 100% have supported the party since 2006. But I can be nuanced and I can be critical of the party that I support. But I agree that it's weird how they pick.
Are you a Patriot Front conservative or a conservative?
Yeah, man, I wear my mask though, so like no one knows it's really me, no dog. But I don't know. I just think that there can be a good that potentially comes out of it. Like the Bud Light thing, I thought that would never take off because forever Republicans and conservatives can't ever coalesce around a thing. And for some reason, this Bud Light thing just really hit. I think this Daniel Penny thing might do the same thing where it opens up average, everyday people and say, well, this dude, whether you think that it was, a heroic act, which I don't think that's a heroic act. I think that he acted, and it's bad that, not bad, but sad that someone lost their life. But I don't like bringing it to that level of being a hero because that requires you to actually have a danger that you are protecting other humans' life from, not a potential danger. And I'll say this: do you remember when the Rittenhouse stuff went down? People were like, Rittenhouse is a hero, and that always sat weird with me. Like I believe that he had a right to defend himself 100%, but when people were calling him a hero, I'm like, I don't necessarily think that was necessarily
Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
do you think
bad.
that was
I said on Tim Pool he was a national hero.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. The reason it didn't sit well with me is because he took an action to defend himself, but I don't think that is heroic. I think that that's like, I don't know, maybe there's a difference of what is considered a hero
I'm going to
versus
tell you
what
why.
is just the defense.
I'm going to tell you why. Because he left his hometown to go protect somebody else's hometown from liberal rioters. Now, I'm telling you right now, you know, it's some people in a whole nother town. I ain't moving to go protect no goddamn body. I got a family to feed. Now, he's a young kid. He's got no family to feed, and he decided to pick up arms, protect the gas station, protect the community. So anybody who chooses to protect people is a hero. Now I'm not saying he's a hero because he shot and killed people or shot and injured people. You know, I just thought that he should have gotten off on the case. He's a little boy. He's a young man, and he should not have his life ruined because some people tried to attack him, particularly a white man who was using the N-word profusely, okay? But the fact that he decided to go and protect a community that was being destroyed by a bunch of rioters is why I called him a hero. This is different from Penny because we still the story is still out on Penny and what actually happened on that train. But we know for a fact Daniel Rittenhouse left his hometown to go protect somebody else's hometown, and that's why I called him a national hero.
So I agree 100% that the act of shooting or the act of like the actual act of ending someone's life, in both of these cases, I don't view that as heroic, but I think that you're right there with Rittenhouse. He went out there to protect this community, and all of those acts of being a young man. But I'll be honest, man, have you seen Rittenhouse speak? Like, it's frustrating. He's not that great of a speaker. I don't think, you know, as he gets older, maybe he's going to become better at it. But I never liked the fact that people are like, he's a hero because he killed these two people and shot this other dude, even though those dudes were scumbags for sure. I just didn't like that. Like, I don't know. To me, it's like a vigilante. Like, you want to lift up vigilantes, and I actually think that's a bad thing for society.
Well,
like, vigilantism is bad, in my opinion.
Well, Rittenhouse. There's nothing about the Rittenhouse that said vigilante. We had somebody who was retreating and who was literally being attacked. We all saw it on film, and he only fired after being attacked, and these people had weapons. So vigilante does not apply to the Rittenhouse case at all.
Yeah, no, I'm
now
saying,
as far as him,
what drives people to like want to lift it up is because I think that people like the idea of a vigilante. But I agree that
I think what happened was the Rittenhouse thing became a grift, right? Just like the Penny thing is becoming a grift, and there's 3 acts to it. Yeah. Rittenhouse was a grift, and I think what happened was because his case was so high profile, he became this hero of the right. And like I said, I thought he was a hero because of, you know, what I stated earlier. However, you know, TPUSA, these people thought it'd be great to grift off of him because he had the celebrity. Like, look, we can sell tickets if we get this kid to show up. And I felt bad for the kid in some ways because I'm like, they're using him. Many people were using him. Many organizations were using him. Not to say TPUSA was, but many people I felt were using him and abusing him. But I also did like the fact that he did get a little bit of celebrity. He get a little bit of coin because, well, frankly, his image was tarnished as a young kid. The stress of the trial, right? The stress of the trial, you're a young kid. You're like, am I going to go away to jail for, 10, 20 years for life? That's a scary thing to have to deal with. So the fact that he was able to come out and get a couple of dollars, I felt I had to respect that grift for him, but I saw everybody else trying to grift off him. Like you said, he's not a public speaker. That's not his strong suit. He's not a public speaker, so I wouldn't expect him to be good at it. I've never listened to the kid speak, but I totally understand your point.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is I'm glad that he got some type of celebrity because they're coming after him for that civil stuff. So, again, I think it's important to point out that there sometimes is this desire to want to have vigilante justice, and that's like the main reason why I hate the progressive DAs is because it encourages vigilante, because people aren't just going to lay down and die, bro. People will
take it to the next level, and they're going to be actively out there, because if there is a vacuum, people are not going to just sit back and let chaos happen. And then people start making stupid decisions, and then you might end up in a position where you use force in a case where you shouldn't based off of the state you're in, and now you're going away for 25 to life. So, yeah, man, I appreciate you taking my call. I just want to throw out those 3 pieces. And, again, look at that Patrick Ewing NRA commercial. It's hilarious, bro.
Awesome, man. Thank you for the call, bro. Hotep and Bill. Oh, man, I cut him off before he said Hotep and Bill. My bad, bro. Jay Wink, what up? I see you over there on Rumble. Shout out to my Rumblers rumbling. Hit the like button if you're over there on Rumble. Hit the like button if you're over here on YouTube. How many likes we got over here on YouTube? We got some breaking news we got to get into. It looks like Hannity replaced Tucker. 169 on the likes. Let's get some more likes. Let's try to get over 200 on the likes. Jig the algorithm. Let's boost the algorithm. Oh, more callers.
Call from
Strong Dag.
Strong Dag Protocol, double dipping. What's up, bro? Talk to me, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud.
Perfect. I forgot about this. I wanted to actually call back, and I'm glad the caller that just was on, he reminded me of this. And the only reason I'm calling back is because this is really important.
Okay.
So people listening, and just people in general, take it from somebody who has lived a serious life of violence, who's had to repent for that violence, who's had to pay for that violence. You never want to be in a position to have to defend yourself.
Yeah.
You never want to be in that position. I like to be square as hell. You can say anything to me almost on the streets aside from trying to put your hands on me. And I'm like, you can call me the N-word in front of God and everybody, and you know, in front of all my employees and everybody who follows me, and I'm not going to do nothing, because the price of violence can be really high. You know, you can tell these people who have never hit someone and then question, is this person alive? You know, when you knock a dude out, when you see the videos of people getting knocked out and they're laying on the ground and they're, you know, making them weird noises and groaning, right? You think it's good for clips, right? But it's not. It's not, because that's their one step close to death. And people don't realize this. You know, I did 5.5 years on a 14-year sentence for being a wild boy, for being a Thundercat in these streets. And I'm telling y'all right now, having protection, you know, these things are important. Of course, you want to be able to protect yourself, your family, but you never want to be in that position. You never want to be in that position.
So
if y'all see something, okay?
You say if you see something what?
I was gonna say if you see something cracking off, if you see like that situation, right? You know, let's say you see somebody going off, right, and they're a homeless man. I've seen that dozens and dozens and dozens of times. Colorado got a ridiculous homeless problem. I can't count how many times I've seen somebody act like Jordan Neely in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all right now, don't be a hero. That's not your position.
Yeah.
That's not your position.
So what's your take on Kyle Rittenhouse?
My take on Kyle Rittenhouse, okay, so I'm with and not with you on that. He went down there to protect someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the reason, and I agree, that was that in itself was a noble act, right? He was like, all right, I need to protect this business. You know, they're being the business being destroyed, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
I also was out there on the streets in Colorado when that patriot was shot in the face. I was out there. That was our protest that he got shot in the face at. That was our protest. And what, you know, imagine you wake up one day, you know, you got your American flag on, you ready to get down, you ready to go down there and tell these liberals what's up. You got your pepper spray, your OC spray, you see somebody cussing, you like, let me spray this fool real quick. Do you think at any point in time, did you imagine I might not even come home today?
Right.
That man, his family, had to watch him die on TV. His wife was there, had to watch him get shot in the face. She didn't even get a chance to say goodbye.
Yeah.
So when I looked at Kyle Rittenhouse, this is what I thought. First of all, good trigger discipline. Good trigger discipline. Good gun control.
Yeah.
Second of all, you could have lost your life.
Yeah.
And what would the gain have been? Oh, I stopped some protesters from breaking a window. I stopped some liberals from breaking a window. I went out there to own the libs with my AR. You never know who is out there. You never know what somebody has. You never ever know. I'm a felon, right? I can't carry a gun legally.
Yeah.
So I walk around with a big old buck knife on my hip. Big, the one from Scream, that one.
Like Crocodile Dundee?
Yes, sir. And I call it the visual deterrent. I call it the visual deterrent because you can see it. It's not like a gun. Nobody's going to try to come and just test me for it, even if you're holding a gun.
Yeah.
Unless it's your explicit desire to just come out and pull that weapon. If you have an issue with me and you have a gun in your hip, you're probably still not going to push the issue because you see that knife on my hip and it's used. I use it in my job. So when I'm telling people, you don't have to be that person. These liberals, they're not out there to blow up a building. They're not going to be able to do much, and they're working against themselves. When they're breaking people's businesses and they're doing all this and all that, protesting who knows what, they're hurting themselves already. You coming out there with your AR to try to push them down, that might hurt you because they don't have the discipline. They don't. Kyle was attacked. He was attacked by men who did not have discipline.
Yeah.
They did not understand the price of violence. They just wanted to be violent. Yeah. And because of that, he was put in a position where he had to defend his life. Yeah. And this is why, if y'all want to make a change, if you want to own the liberals, highlight what they do. You want to own them, be one of these people who goes out in the streets and has interviews with them and shows how dumb they are.
Yeah.
But when you show up in your gear, when you show up with your vest, when you show up with all these things, you never know what can happen. My group, we went down to Pueblo, right? Because there was some actual, I call them actual supremacists. There's the fake ones and then there's the real ones. And they were down there physically attacking the elders and this Native American in the area around the Columbus statue. We go down there and they're emptying out restaurants filled with these dudes, and they all have guns. So all these people are walking around us with guns. I'm walking around. Everyone that I'm with has guns. Everybody had guns. We're walking these elders back to their car, and we have a standoff in the middle of the road next to a neighborhood because some idiot drove by and pulled out his gun. Now, the people I was with, they were an actual squad. They go out and they do shooting drills and X, Y, and Z. So they had the discipline not to just start firing when a dude brandished his weapon. But this is, if you're going to go out there alone to do that, just know you're probably the only one with the training.
Yeah.
And you don't want to go to prison, y'all. You don't want to go to prison. Even if it's for 3 years, there's nothing worse than spending 3 years, any year, in a bathroom with another man. Because that's where you're at. You're in a bathroom with another man in a bunk bed.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough. That is probably the most important thing out of all these things that are going on, is that people recognize that the price of violence is high and you roll the dice every single time. You cannot control the situation. We could have got shot up in Pueblo easily. One of them dudes could have really been on their shit and wanted to take me out because I'm, here's a sole black man with no weapon in his hand, pointing and giving directions to everyone with weapons in their hands. I could have died that day. That was a mistake that I made, assuming that I could control that situation, even though we did. So people, remember that the price of violence is higher than you're ever willing to pay. Unless they're trying to hurt, unless they're trying to harm your family, unless they're trying to put their hands on your family. Be a square. Be a fucking square. There's nothing cool about being a badass because you can shoot. Just like you said, you don't brandish your weapon. You know what I'm saying? You practice, you do what you do, and then you put it away. Period. That's what you do. We don't engage in redneck culture or nigga culture because both of these they involve being willfully ignorant of things like this. And that's all I really had to say. I had to chime that back in.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Hotep and Bill, bro.
Hotep.
Man, strong dad protocol and check-in. Y'all see this? See, this is a product of being, out with the old, in with the new. So Kyle Rittenhouse wants to raise $500,000. This went up. Last update was August 28th, 2022. Boy only raised $5,000. Can y'all see that right there? Kyle Rittenhouse only raised $5,000. $5K? That's it. He ain't hot no more. He not in no more. And that's why I talk about the grift, man. The grift is ruthless. It's ruthless. You know, the new thing is Daniel Penny. Here, Kyle got a civil lawsuit. All he raised was $5,000 so far. He ain't in no more. He ain't hot no more. He ain't relevant no more. AK Kamara said, I kept on saying you and it was Karl Malone. Oh, okay, Karl Malone. Okay. I'm going to check that out. I feel bad for Kyle, man. Somebody throw Kyle some shekels for his civil case, man. All he got was $5K. He got 1 million followers. All he raised was $5K. 1 million followers. That's sad. He ain't hot no more. He's not the in thing anymore. Anyway, Hannity seems to be replacing Tucker. I saw that news broke earlier. Let me take a look here. So, Gateway Pundit. Let's see what they say here. According to Drudge Report, Sean Hannity, who's been with the network since its inception in 1996, moving to Tucker's slot. Jesse Waters and Greg Gutfeld will also see their arrows shuffled as well and move into prime time. Shout out to Greg Gutfeld. Congratulations, Hannity. How do y'all feel about that? Tyler Carditis says, since firing Tucker Carlson, Fox News Channel's ratings in all the important 25 to 54 demo have fallen off a cliff, minus 42% at 6 p.m., minus 62% at 7 p.m., minus 75% at 8 p.m., minus 70% 9 p.m., minus 66% at 10 p.m., minus 49% at 11 p.m. Damn. You know what they need? You know what Fox News needs to rescue these ratings?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Hotep Jesus? I love that guy. He's terrific.
Fox, hit me up, man. I'll bring y'all back, man. I'll bring y'all back to life. Holla at me, man. We can work something out. I ain't greedy. I ain't Steven Crowder. We can get a nice little contract going. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? LeBron James. So congrats to Hannity on his promotion. Good for him. I know some of y'all don't like him. I don't think Rudy the Vet Russo likes him at all. And yeah. So I listen to Hannity on Sirius. I mean, on Patriot Radio. I mean, I pretty much listen to whoever is on at the time. I get my grifter news from Patriot Radio, but my favorite's Sonny Johnson. Obviously, it's gonna be my fave. My boy Patrick over here, what'd he say? Says chilling, tanning, watching some overhyped blockchain project implode because it was built on showmanship versus real devs and teams pushing advancement. As Hotep Jesus says, please look for big brain content. Rolex will show the industry how it's done. $Sis. Shout out to Syscoin. And savage tweet, by the way. Call him out, Patrick. Call him out, man. That's an ill-ass image, man. I need me a picture like this. He'll be at HotepCon this year. I need me an image like this. This is raw. This is raw right here. I like that image, man. This fire right here. I want to look this cool one day. I aspire to look this cool. I need him to be my image consultant. His image, I mean, I don't want to copy him, but damn, it's just, I love his style. Yeah, Patrick's cool, Trish. He's cool. Shout out to Trish. She's wonderful help over at Hotep Nation. Handles all our money problems, all of our money stuff. She'll be at HotepCon. You'll see her when you register, or I'm sorry, when you check in at the hotel. You'll see her. You'll see me. If I'm not running around with Brody picking people up from the airport, you'll see me and Trish at the front desk when y'all check in and get your badges and your name tag and your gift bag for HotepCon. Did you get your tickets for HotepCon yet? HotepNation.com/HotepCon. Coupon code, 10% off, coupon code Hotep Jesus. Make sure you get yours, man. It's going to be a good time. Sonny Johnson will be there. Project Rook. We're working on Lawrence B. Jones. Lawrence B. Jones, we're working on getting him out there. So, we're going to have some Fox alum in the building. Hey, man. Life getting you down. Work seems to be too hard to get through, having trouble focusing, a lot of brain fog, memory lapses. We got you covered. Hit the link in the description box below. The link in the description box below, 30% off Master Focus, plus 20% for membership. That's half off Master Focus in the description box below. Hit that link. Go get yourself a subscription. Take it daily. Get yourself a monthly subscription. I take it daily. It's part of my life. Without it, I don't know where I'd be. I don't even know what my life was like before this, but this is how we become productive individuals. My name is Hotep Jesus. We're here every day at 2 p.m. Eastern time, except this week. Tomorrow and Friday, I won't be here because I'll be in Miami. If you're a member, I'm getting you guys some behind the scenes, some BTS content. So look out for that on the timeline, on the YouTube timeline. But again, 2 p.m., subscribe. I'll be here every day, Monday through Friday. I'm Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus? I love that guy. He's terrific.
And I'll see y'all next time.
Most of you will be replaced by AI, but it doesn't have to be this way. You can become AI resistant, but you will need to outperform the machines. You may not think this is possible, but it is. The infiniteness of human consciousness is more infinite than the power of the machine. You may not know how to tap into this power, but we do. And we will show you how. Join us in this journey to make the machine our servant.